All right, Todd Peterson to kick off. Back deep for the Packers. And waiting, Don Beebe on the far side of the field. Beebe has had a terrific start. By the way, Derek Mays is not active again today. Beebe is keeping him on the sideline. Here's the kickoff. This high floater heads toward Beebe. And Dorsey Levens will go over to block for him. Beebe at the 3, to the 10, up the right side to the 15. Leaps over a man and goes down at about the 22-yard line. Nice play by Beebe. He just took whatever was available to him. He wasn't going to pass anything up. And he is knocked down at about the 22-yard line. And the Packers will take over.
You know, Jim, this defensive line of Seattle, a lot like Minnesota, they've got a very good defensive line. So I think Brett will be very interested to see how his protection turns out very early.
John Michael at the left tackle. You'll keep an eye on him, I assume, to see what happens.
Plan to do it. I imagine Brett will be keeping an eye on him, too.
Yeah, he kind of looked over to the left every once in a while.
Anderson, the blocking back, and the running back, Edgar Bennett. They split into a pro set on the first down. 2 receivers to the right. Bennett in motion to the left for Green Bay, and back to throw it is Brett Favre. Comes up over the middle. It's dropped. Incomplete on a terrific hit by number 33, Darrell Williams.
Boy, nobody's getting up.
We got a receiver down, not able to get up, and we have an official who's down on the play, and I mean there was a terrific hit on the intended receiver for the Green Bay Packers, and I'm not able to see who that was who went down, but it was
probably Brooks.
I would think it was Brooks. There was a quick slant pattern on the right side, and Robert was hit hard and drilled, and that's the last thing in the world we need to have happen at this stage.
Darrell Williams, the man doing the hitting, the man who replaced Eugene Robinson in Seattle.
I'll tell you the good news there, perfect protection for Brett Favre. The bad news is, even though that was a perfect pass, whoever's down really got hit hard.
Well, Darrell Williams hit him hard, and he is down. He has now rolled over and is on his knees, and that is Brooks. Well, that was a pretty good pass, too. The fact was that the hit was just a little better than the pass.
It really was, and it came about the same time as the ball. You know, what would worry me in that position is a hip pointer, which it looked like he got hit long about the hip, even though that's not what he seems to be favoring.
Our ball game today brought to you by Beechwood Aged Budweiser, the gold medal-winning American premium lager at the 1995 Great American Beer Festival. This Bud's for you.
That first play, the Packers went with a pass, but they did keep Mark Chmura. They lined up the tight end to the left side with John Michaels. Whether he helps him or not, just his presence takes some edge off the rush.
Larry, as you analyze what happened in last week's ball game, the one thing you have to keep in mind that non-factors were basically Chmura and Jackson, and Dorsey Levens was not a factor in that ball game as well.
No, you look at a lot of things. Robert Brooks, one catch. I mean, just not a good day for the Packer offense all around, but all began up front with the lack of pass protection.
Brett Favre is over and talking to Robert Brooks at the time, and obviously some concern on his part about what happened there. So we will wait and see if Robert Brooks is able to continue in this ball game. And it's just too bad that on the very first play, which looked to be a perfect play, and you'll recall the trouble started last week on a perfectly good slant pattern to Antonio Freeman, who made about 15 yards, then got hit and fumbled the ball, and the Packers never really recovered from that particular play. We're getting a look on the replay machine of exactly what went on in the play. Brooks hit it, and he was hit. Well, it's not a hip pointer, Max, because he was hit up high. It looks more like a shoulder problem than anything else from where he was hit. Or he might be dinged a little bit.
That's why they say it's not a contact sport, it is a collision sport.
Oh, yeah.
That was some kind of collision.
It was a terrific hit by Darrell Williams. Darrell Williams is 6 foot even, 202 pounds, a big free safety in his 5th year from the University of Miami. Brooks is trying to rock and get himself back up. And again, I don't know whether it's the ding in the head or the breath knocked out of him or exactly what it could be.
That could have been whiplash as hard as that was, because I think they're working on his neck.
Well, they're going to take good care of him, as they should, before they take him off the field. Well, if you depend on your car to perform, depend on 76 gasolines to keep it a performance car. They're going to bring out the cart in case he needs to be taken off that way. Well, this is not the kind of thing that you wanted to have happen to open the game. And what this really does, Max, it just stifles your momentum. You're all set, you're on edge, and you're ready to go in the ball game. And suddenly you have a delay of 5 or 10 minutes, and some of that edge will disappear.
I think it happens to both sides, though, Jim. That's the only good part of it. I agree with you, though. There's nothing worse than ready to start a game, and all at once you got a 5 or 7 minute wait here.
I think the game winner was by Jeff Yeager, a 30-yarder, to win the ball game, a final of 19-17 for Chicago. So the Bears, who had been struggling, win under David Craig, and you think they won't beat Sky High? Remember, Craig came along last year and beat us at Detroit.
Nobody said the Central Division was going to be easy.
Well, I don't think we're going to worry about next week just yet, are we?
You know, his folks still live out in the Wausau area, and one time when Dave was with Detroit and there was some question about staying with him, she heard a news report that we did. Her mom called the TV station, wanted to know more about it.
27-0. Detroit has beaten Tampa Bay today, so Tampa Bay still winless in 5 games. 15-10, the Giants over Minnesota. Baltimore 17, New Orleans 10. These are all finals. It's Denver 14, Cincinnati 10, and Chicago 19, and Oakland 17. All right, now they have placed Brooks on the cart. It's kind of a golf cart type of machine, and they will take him off with that and into the locker room. And again, that's he's sitting up. And he really looks like he's dinged, doesn't he? It looks like he's dinged in the head more than anything. But you want to be very careful about that because you can have a concussion in that particular instance. A lot of things could happen to you, so you got to be very careful. When we resume play, it'll be a 2nd down and 10 yards to go for the Packers, and the ball resting at the 22-yard line. Pretty good throw by Brett Favre, but the defender was there and really put a hit on Robert Brooks. So the official marks the ball in play, and we're ready to go back and play football. Antonio Freeman goes left on Beebe, who will now be called on a lot this afternoon, splits to the left side. And the 2 running backs split in a pro set on 2nd down and 10. Here's Brett Favre. Favre had him a little rocking in. He hands it off, and a little quick slant play across the 25 to about the 26-yard line. And a gain of about 4 on the play. Had him rocking forward, but not offside. And it's a gain of 4 on the play. It'll be 3rd down at about 6 yards to go for the Green Bay Packers.
Packers pulling Aaron Taylor and leading William Henderson through the hole with semi-decent results. 4 yards on a run, not bad.
Interesting 2nd down call by the Packers. So it'll be 3rd down and 6 yards to go. Freeman to the left side, Beebe to the right, and could be a big day for Antonio Freeman with Brooks out of the ball game. 3rd down and 6, and a lot of noise being called, and Brett Favre trying to change the play, switches his backfield, and waits for the snap of the ball. And there was movement on the right side of the line. There are the flags.
Packer movement.
Well, exactly what happens in a dome, Max. They never could get the information to their wide receivers. And when they finally did get it, the right tackle or right end jumped. And that's the illegal procedure, and it'll be 3rd down and about 11 yards to go for the Packers.
Interesting series for the Packers. They open up with a pass. 2nd down and long, they go with a run. And on 3rd and long, they stay in their base offense, did not bring in their 4-receiver set.
Well, Larry, is that because of the script?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
They're still on that first 15. Good point,
right.
Max.
Well,
false start, 72 offense.
this is on Earl Dotson, and Dotson, as you said in your pregame show, has been the most reliable offensive lineman for the Packers. So it's not the kind of start you wanted here for Green Bay against the Seattle Seahawks. And in fact, this whole game is just really flat right at the moment.
You got to be careful about what kind of success you give a heavy underdog. You can't give them reasons to get fired up, and so far that's kind of what's happening.
Dorsey Levens has come into the ball game as the lone running back, and Desmond Howard will come in as a wide receiver. So they're going to go with the 4 wide receivers.
I think it's a good spot for a screen pass. I don't know. It's safe, and you don't want to make a mistake down here.
All right, here's the 3rd down play. Favre is back to throw, and they're coming through, and he dances off to the right side, gets a good block behind him, and he's going to run the football out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. No 1st down. He goes out at the 25. He just didn't want to take a chance. Hard to throw back right when you're coming left, and he had a man chasing him, even though he got a pretty good block. Was that Michaels?
No, it was not John Michaels getting beat early. It was Adam Timmerman getting beat early.
No, but I mean, it looked like Michaels may have come back and thrown the block that sprung Brett to get around the corner there. So it is Craig Hentrick who will come in and do the kicking for the Packers. And it is standing back at about the 11-yard line. Back to return the ball for Seattle, Joey Galloway. He is a very difficult player to deal with. Galloway generally returns, or Reggie Harris, and this could be Reggie Harris. Here's the kick, and Hentrick with a bad kick off the side of his foot. Hits at the 40, takes the Packer pass to the 30-yard line, still inside the 30, and is going to be down at the 29-yard line. So they got a good break. The man who was set to return that for
Galloway,
for Seattle is Galloway, but he did not get the ball. I think I got Joey's number down wrong on my scorecard. That's why we had a little bit of a problem there. I got it now. It's 84. So here comes Rick Meyer. Rick Meyer, 66 out of 120. 55%. 672 yards, 1 touchdown, 5 interceptions, and 13 sacks. So it's going the wrong way for the Packers on this first series. Galloway goes to the left side. Brian Blades will split off to the right. And they also have Mike Pritchard. They have 3 wide receivers on first down and a single running back. Here is the throw by Myers, comes out to the right side, dropped. Oh, they had a man wide open, and it was dropped by Brian Blades out on the left flat, and the ball just went off his hands, incomplete. It'll be second down.
Blades pounds his chest. My fault. No lie. The whole place saw it.
That was a big momentum swinger in favor of Seattle right there, and it didn't come off.
Did you know that when a quarterback is having a tough time, invariably the receivers drop the ball when you throw a perfect pass? It just happens that way.
Newsom, Eugene Robinson, Leroy Butler, and Doug Evans are the defensive secondary for the Packers on a second down. And 10 yards to go from the 29. Rick Meyer appears to be changing the play at the line of scrimmage, but he gets a little more cooperation from the crowd. Here's Meyer, quick drop, and now he has to throw under duress, and the ball is caught, but out of bounds. Incomplete at about the 35-yard line on the far side of the field. He had to get rid of it early. And it was Brian Blades again, who's caught 20 so far this season, including 1 for a touchdown, who made the catch, but by the time the ball arrived, he had run the pattern all the way to the sideline.
Yeah, Sean Jones walked left tackle James Atkins right back into Meyer's lap.
Third down coming. What a strange start to this ball game. In case you just joined us, Robert Brooks hurt on the first play, taken off. We don't know the extent of the injury. We will try to find out for you. It appeared that he might have been dinged up a little bit. It'll be third down and 10. Got to make these plays. Last week, the Packers unable to make them against the Minnesota Vikings. Here's Meyer on third down, and here comes a blitz, and down he goes. Incomplete pass. No. Incomplete pass. The official immediately called it as an incomplete pass. We had Kuntz coming up one way, and somebody got him from the outside.
Wayne Simmons blitzed on the play. It screwed up the Seahawks blocking. Reggie White goes in there almost untouched.
No, it will be a kicking time, and that's what you wanted to put in Rick Meyer's mind right there, what happened in that series.
Well, you did, and if Reggie didn't put it in his mind, nobody touched Reggie White. He had a straight shot at Meyer, and that's not good for Meyer.
So to do the kicking is Rick Tootin for Seattle. Gets a good snap from center and no rush. And a low returnable ball for Desmond Howard. Back at the 26-yard line to the 30, to the 35, around the corner of the 40, to the 45 midfield, and down inside Seattle territory at the 43-yard line. That was a low-line drive, and the kicker's fault on that play.
Boy, that's the kind that come back at you about as quick as you kick it. Good run back.
We're going to take a break. No score in the ball game. We'll be back after we pause for this on the Packer Radio Network.
Every hit, every score, every moment of adrenaline-pumping NFL action can be beamed direct to your home with DirecTV. DirecTV brings fans up to 13 NFL matchups every Sunday with the NFL Sunday Ticket. And now buy any new DSS system and a 1-year subscription to any DirecTV Total Choice programming package and get $200 cash back from DirecTV. For $200 cash back and the most NFL action available, it's gotta be DirecTV.
Pinned down too long.
All right. BB taking the
Robert Brooks spot in the opening line.
Well, we're told that Brooks may have a concussion, and he's being reevaluated right at the moment. All right, first down at the 45-yard line of Seattle by the Packers. Here's Brett Favre. Play action fake. Looks. Has to dance away. He's under a traffic pressure. Gets away. Gets back to the 45. Runs to the sidelines and out of bounds at the 43-yard line, maybe the 42 for a gain of about 3. He spun, started to come left. And somebody had come in on the left side. He spun and went out to the right side and gained 3 yards on a play.
Early pressure coming from Sam Adams, who was working against center Frankie Winters.
So it is going to be a gain of 3, second down at about 7. But again, Brett seems a little reluctant to throw the ball early after the first pass.
Well, his receiver was covered. His first choice was covered, and he didn't have time to look for the second one. But I could see the receiver. They had a guy on each side of him, so it's good that he didn't throw it.
Second down, 7 yards to go at the 42-yard line of the Seattle Seahawks. No score in the ball game. We're early. It played, in fact, less than 3 minutes so far. Second possession by the Packers. Here's Brett straight back in the pocket. Great protection this time. Steps up over the middle. The ball's deflected. He had Antonio Freeman in the middle, and up front it was knocked down, and the man who did it was Dean Wells, the middle linebacker, who retreated nicely and got his hands up to knock the ball away.
Yeah, Brett threw that too much on the line, Jim. That's one of the few times that he didn't lay it over that linebacker because Freeman wide open for a big game.
Ripple effect on Robert Brooks' concussion is the fact the Packers can't go with 4 wide receivers or Eagle formation. They don't have 4 left right now because they've been going in the game without Derek Mays. They only have 4 active to begin with.
And he can't go back and say we need him and activate him.
They don't give you an emergency wide receiver.
No, they don't. Only the quarterback.
We may see a lot of 2 tight ends today.
Third down. Here goes Desmond Howard in motion to the right. Back goes Brett to throw it. He's got some time. Comes up over the middle and a bad pass. Do it short. and intended it for Howard down about the 32-yard line, and the pass was low and overled him, so Brett Favre is off to a very slow start.
Well, he was, Jim, but again, good coverage there. You know, he wasn't wide open there. He had to thread the needle and just couldn't get it in there.
Also, I think we see some of the effects of spotty pass protection. The confidence, the quarterback has got to have confidence to wait to that last minute, and I think Brett's feeling some of that heat that he's been getting regularly as of late.
Joey Galloway stands back at the 10-yard line waiting for the punt from Craig Hendrick. Hendrick's first punt wasn't a good one, but it rolled into a good one. Here's the kick by Craig. No pressure. This is a high floater. And Galloway says fair catch, but he lets the ball go over his head. It's going to be down inside the, it's bouncing outside the 10-yard line to about the 11, where William Henderson will down it. The ball hit on the nose, and instead of going forward, it bounced and it goes down at the 11-yard line. We'll take a break. No score in the ball game. Back after this from your local station on the Packer Radio Network.
And wants to say hello to his brothers, Mike and Bulldog. They'll want to know that he's here and doing all right.
All right, first down at the 11-yard line for Seattle. And the ball game is scoreless. We still have 11:56 to go in the first quarter. Meyer on the handoff. They go straight up the middle. Not much running room there to perhaps the 13-yard line with Chris Warren as the ball carrier. And dropped up the middle with old Gilbert Brown putting his big body on top of Warren. Warren came into the lineup averaging just 2.4 yards a carry, 53 carries, just 129 yards. And here's a guy who's a perennial 1,000-yard rusher. He is so good. He's a big kid at 6'2", 225 pounds, but you got to have some holes to run in.
Two of them couldn't block Gilbert Brown that time. Not unusual.
Second down, single running back, and 4 wide receivers this time as Rick Myers goes back to throw. Rick looks, fires it up on a little slant pattern. It's knocked down. He wanted to go to his wide receiver on the right, Mike Pritchard, and the ball was knocked down before it could get there.
Wayne Simmons was pass defending with Chris Warren that time, so he's right in the way. Good alertness by Wayne Simmons.
So it'll be third down, and neither team able at this point to move the football with any kind of consistency at all. Third down, Seattle, and about 8 yards to go for the first down. They got to get out to the 21-yard line and just beyond for the first down. Reggie White, the left defensive end, waiting to charge from this side. Back goes Meyer to throw. Rick in trouble and throws the ball behind. He had to get rid of it. They were coming so hard. And Rick Meyer knocked down just as he released the ball. And that time, Sean Jones and Reggie made a plan to meet at the quarterback, and they did.
I tell you, defense all the way, both sides, Jim. Neither offense has had anything going due to big pass rushes by the defense.
Well, Kohl's Department Store is your headquarters for great Packer merchandise. Jackets, sweatshirts, jerseys, and hats. If you're a Packer fan, we'll make it worth your while at Kohl's. At Kohl's, that's more like it. Desmond Howard at the 42-yard line awaiting the kick of Rick Tootin. Tootin with a good snap and no rush. This is a higher ball that will be more difficult to return. The retreat is all the way back to the 24-yard line, to the 30 by Desmond Howard, and out of bounds at about the 34-yard line. Desmond Howard out of bounds at the 34-yard line where the Packers will take over. Great kick by Rick Tootin, and a timeout on the field back after we pause for this. On the
Pumps Tire Service Team are one of the best in the field when it comes to quality, service, and selection. Just check your yellow pages for the location nearest you. And remember, with the Kelly Tires and Pumps Tire Service Team, you'll always get a good deal on a great tire, Kelly.
Well, a change in the field position. The Packers backed up to the 34. Remember, the last time they had it, it was at the 45 of Seattle. Here's Brett Favre. Quick handoff up the middle, looking for a hole. Edgar Bennett across the 35 to about the 37 or 8-yard line, and a gain of 3 yards. It'll be second down and 7. The middle of that interior defense for the Seattle Seahawks. Winston Moss, Dean Wells, and Michael Barber are the linebackers for the Seattle Seahawks. Boy, we don't see these guys enough. The last time we were here to play them was 1987. And Seattle, in its heyday in those days, beat the Packers solidly. Second down, 7 yards to go. No first downs for the Packers yet. Brett Favre 0 for 3 in passing. 3 wide receivers. Here's the draw play up the middle to the outside. Dorsey Levens, and he'll be ridden down at about the 40-yard line. Levens tried to spin to the outside. Couldn't find any running room, and he is brought down at about the 40-yard line. And at the moment, Max, whereas everything worked before, they are struggling to find something with consistency now.
Boy, no doubt about it, Jim. They'd like to run the football. They really had not a lot of time to throw the football, so they're not doing well there.
So it's third down and 4 yards to go for the first down for the Packers.
Packers staying with their base formation here.
They split the 2 running backs on third down, and again, the crowd trying to help out. Here's Brett Favre on the snap. Brett on a play action, rolls to the right, fires it upfield, knocked down. Beautiful defensive play by Robert Blackman, the free safety, knocking it away from the intended receiver, the tight end. And again, as last week against the Minnesota Vikings, it's almost as if they know exactly where the ball's going.
Well, Michael Sinclair was not fooled. He's a guy that they don't block. He kind of got his hands up and made Brett throw it a little bad. So nothing happening on offense for the Pack.
They ought to know that play pretty well. The Packers a little drag of the tight end. They run it very often.
Craig Henry back to do the kicking again to Joey Galloway. Here's Craig, and this is a high, beautiful floater that's going to send Galloway back to the 8-yard line. Looking for some running room, and he gets to the outside, has to come back inside, and he's brought down to the 14-yard line. That was outstanding coverage on the part of the Green Bay Packers down to the 14-yard line. 8 flags on the play. I don't see any. And whether or not we take a break, we'll have to wait and see. Now we're going to continue to play here, and we'll tell you that for your family's banking, rely on the best. Rely on First Financial Bank. Currently the best bank in Wisconsin, according to Money Magazine. First Financial Bank, an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. Again, Minnesota has lost to the New York Giants 15-10. The Packers now could tie for the lead with a victory here today. Detroit is 3-2 with its win, and the Bears are 2-3. And they will have a very good attitude come next week against the Packers. First down from the 14. Meyer on a play-action fake. Rolls and flips a little pass off to the left side for about 10 yards. Caught up the sidelines, and that is the tight end for Christian Correa for Seattle, and he gets about 9-10 yards on the play.
The Hawks giving the Packers a dose of their own medicine. That's the same play. Drag the tight end and so forth. Leave the defensive end, Sean Jones, unblocked and toss it over him.
I guarantee you they took that right out of the Packer playbook because it was exactly the play. The bad news is it worked.
10 catches on the season for Correa of Seattle. It's a first down at the 24-yard line. That's the first down of the game. Here's the handoff, and Warren is going to reverse it to Joey Galloway. Galloway to the 25, to the 30, trying to get to the outside. Newsom chases it, and he goes out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Max, you and I were talking about that just before the game began. They love to go with Galloway on the reverse. Chicago loves to go with Curtis Conway on the reverse.
Yeah, and you know, when that was set up, Jim, like it could have been a real big play. Fortunately, he didn't get very much out of it, but he got a big first down.
They're all the way out to the 40-yard line, so in 2 plays, they've gone to the 14 to the 40.
Galloway, be it a return on the punt or from the scrimmage on a run like this or a pass, he is their long ball threat.
Well, he has now carried the ball 5 times this season for Seattle. So he's not unused to doing that. Here's the ride and the handoff. This is Chris Warren, tries to slide through a hole and gets out to about the 43-yard line where they hit him and bring him down at about the 43. Gilbert Brown is on top of the play, and Sean Jones, who's having an outstanding year for the Packers, brings him down at about the 43. A gain of 2 yards, second down and 8 yards to go. The Packers bring in off the sidelines a couple of linebackers, and they will take out Mike Pryor, and also coming out of the ball game, Tyrone Williams.
Seahawks have not been able to block Gilbert Brown. Just dominating up front right now.
Second down for Seattle. No score in the ball game. We're down to 7:56 to go in the first quarter. Meyer on a play-action fake, back to throw. Reggie comes after him. He stepped inside Reggie, fires it upfield, and getting away from one tackle is Chris Warren, and Warren has the first down at the Packer 46-yard line. That was a good job by Rick Meyer. He stepped inside the charge of Reggie White. Then he fired it up to Chris Warren, who caught the ball about the 50 on the right side and ran it down to the 46-yard line.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. Rick Meyer has a nice arm, Jim. He fired that thing on the run. Perfect pass, and the Seahawks are kind of on the move here.
Seattle has the spirit at the moment. Max Strong was the blocking back on that play. They also will run Lamar Smith, who is a little scat back.
Max Strong, good name for a fullback, huh?
It is. Max Strong. First down to the Packer 46. Back to throw. Meyer fakes. Now he wants to go long. Nobody went long. And
intercepted.
Caught off by Eugene Robinson. At the 15 to the 20. The 25. The sidelines 30. 35. 40. Eugene to the 45. Eugene to midfield. Eugene to the 46-yard line of the Seattle Seahawks. There was nobody there. Rick Meyer threw it in the corner, and Eugene Robinson chased it down at the 15-yard line.
You wonder if he was trying to throw the ball out of play, Jim, because no receiver in sight. Eugene Robinson, who played here 11 years, I might add.
I think Meyer thought it was a pump and go, and the receiver forgot to go.
He didn't go at all. So that will be a Packer pickoff, pick and save, with money to the Mac Fund, compliments of pick and save. And boy, did they do the job. That for Eugene Robinson is his second interception of the season. And again, here we are, Max. The ball is a first down at the 46-yard line of Seattle.
Got to capitalize on some of these opportunities.
Packers came into the game with a +8 on turnovers. They're now +9. First down at the 46-yard line. Here's Brett Favre on the handoff. They look for some running room. Bennett to the outside. 40 to the 35 and down to the 33 line. Made a great outside move at about the line of scrimmage. Just slid over about 2 feet and went up the hole very nicely.
Yes, he did. And leading him was Aaron Taylor, who also made a nice outside move. As the offensive lineman comes around the outside, he's got to read what's going on. Aaron Taylor hooked his guy inside, allowed Edgar Bennett to go outside for a nice game.
First down of the ball game for the Green Bay Packers.
I'll tell you, Henderson lead block made the play go, Larry. He was right in there and blocked the defensive end.
Human battering ram.
Antonio Freeman splits out wide to the right. They split the two running backs into a pro set now, and first down at the 33. Brett Favre, quick inside handoff. Here's Edgar Bennett to the 25, to the 23. Maybe another first down. Just a quick hitter in the middle by Edgar Bennett, and the hole really was wide that time.
Quick little inside trap that the Packers have used with pretty good success this year. Aaron Taylor doing a nice job on the trap block.
Nothing helps your pass blocking like a good running attack. If they keep running the ball, they won't have any trouble throwing the ball.
We're going to get a timeout on the field. We will take a break, and we'll be back after we pause for this. This is the Packer Radio Network.
Ball is in the air, and that means
a wide receiver in the slot on the right, one split out wide right, a single running back for the Packers on first down. Brett Favre's going to throw on that first down look, steps up, and cut from behind, and down he goes at the 24-yard line, and that'll be a sack for the Seattle Seahawks.
That's Michael Sinclair, his 8th sack of the year. He's leading the league. He got the inside on Earl Dotson, although Brett did have time to take a look downfield.
You know, he's really reluctant to release the ball the last couple of times, and I think there's a perfect case of it. There was a man breaking open, but he did not throw to the spot where he would be. Brett seems to be lacking just a little bit of confidence in some of these throws.
Well, I think he saw that free safety coming over, Jim, and it would have really been a tight throw, but you're right. Normally he would have let that go a little earlier, and then that safety wouldn't have been a factor.
So it is going to be a second down and 13 yards to go. Here's Brett again on the draw play up the middle. Dorsey led him to the outside to the 20. Dorsey on his feet, gets tripped up, and goes down just short of the first down at about the 13-yard line. And again, Levens with the slide to the outside, and that's where they've had their great success. He was almost tackled back at the 18-yard line and leaped over a man, finally brought down a yard shy of the first down.
Tell you what, Adam Timmerman had the tough job that time. Cortez Kennedy right at the line of scrimmage. Cortez didn't rip up field. Adam Timmerman, a great job of sustaining his block.
So it'll be third down and about a yard and a half to go for the first down for the Packers. They make a change to the Seattle Seahawks, and they take out a linebacker and bring in a defensive secondary man. Third down and about a yard and a half to go for Green Bay. No score in the ball game. The Packers try to get on the board first. They send a man in motion to this near side. Brett back to throw, looking for the short pattern. No, goes to the corner. He's got a touchdown. There's Antonio Freeman in the corner for the Packers. A little down and out pattern into the corner of the end zone. Perfectly thrown by Brett Favre, and the Packers are on the scoreboard.
That was a Brett Favre pass all the way, Jim. That time he had that little layup over the linebacker, over the halfback. Antonio Freeman wide open.
Antonio Freeman just whipping Robert Black in a safety one-on-one. Great play all around.
So the Packers are on the scoreboard first with a touchdown. Nice pass by Brett Favre into the corner. And the Packers take the lead 6-0. We'll wait. It's 46 yards in 5 plays, taking advantage again of the interception to score points. The interception by Eugene Robinson. The kick by Chris Jackie is up, through, and good. And the Packers lead it 7-0. Well, this Packer broadcast is sponsored by your neighborhood Quick Trip store, where the best low price is just down the street. And Larry, you recall all last season how Mike Holmgren kept saying we need the turnovers because they translate to points.
And they've already beaten last year's total. The team was listening. What was that, their 18th of the season? Eugene Robinson. Really helps.
Yes.
Shortens the field.
Favre goes to Freeman, his second touchdown. And the Packers have the lead in the ball game with 4:36 to go here in the first quarter of the ball game. That one covered 13 yards with a touchdown. And it is a total of 46 in just 5 plays for the Packers. Today's game brought to you by Mills Fleet Farm, headquarters for all your hunting and fishing supplies at the lowest prices every day. Now, maybe, Max, that will loosen them up a little bit. They needed something like that.
Well, I agree, Jim. They haven't had much success, and that was just a perfect play. That's about as pretty a play as you can get down there, where you throw a nice lead pass just over that defender. Perfect play.
So it will be Craig Henry kicking off for the Packers. Back deep, Reggie Harris, one of the return men. And they have a couple up a little bit shorter than that, but Reggie Harris is the deep man for the Seattle Seahawks. By the way, I asked if Ken Behring would be here today, and Kenny's not all that popular in Seattle. He has given up some of his ownership. There's an option on the club. Reggie Harris is going to take, now they're going to change that and make it Steve Broussard at the goal line, back to the 10, tries to cut back inside. Oh, he got a hold. He's getting to the outside, but he's going to be brought down at the 26-yard line. Pretty good play to get it up to the 26-yard line by Broussard.
Tell you what, Jeff Thomason didn't get him down, but him slowing him up prevented a huge play so Tyrone Williams could make the finishing hit.
It looked like they were going to move the ball upfield very well. Our ball game today brought to you by State Farm Insurance and the State Farm agents throughout Wisconsin. For all your family insurance needs, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Now we'll see if Rick Meyer was shaken by the fact he threw an interception to a wide-open Eugene Robinson, or whether he can brighten himself as Brett Favre did.
Well, I'll tell you, Myers.
Yeah, Eugene was wide open, wasn't he?
Myers about a year away.
Maybe light years away. First down at the 26-yard line. Single running back for Seattle. Here's the ride and the handoff. Warren looks to the outside, and he's caught back in the backfield. Oh, what a terrific play by Reggie White, who shed the blocker and knocked him down somewhere around the 23, 24-yard line. Let's see how much they're going to give Chris Warren. He did not get back to the line of scrimmage, which was the 26. Reggie's kind of slowed down, hasn't he?
Oh, just terribly. But a tight end trying to block Reggie, that is a mismatch, and that's what the Seahawks scheme called for.
Yeah, you know what I think about it, Max, is his quickness in getting off the ball. He was inside, and yet he turned and dived to make the play on that tackle.
Chris Warren didn't seem to run too fast either.
Here is Meyer back to throw, and he set up a screen, but in on him was Reggie White again, and he had to dump the ball. He intended it for Faria over here on the right side, but he didn't have time to set him up.
That was just that drag pattern to the tight end to the other side of the field, but Reggie is such a menacing target to throw over.
Well, when you see Reggie coming, you may want to get rid of the ball a little quicker, I think.
I think he does add a little quickness to the delivery time.
Third down at about 12 for Seattle at the 24-yard line. Single running back again, Warren. They have Joey Galloway as the wide receiver wide to the left side, a slot on the left, and a wide receiver right, and the tight end goes in motion and lines up to the left side. Back goes Meyer, a little lofting pass upfield. Oh, nicely thrown to Mike Pritchard, and he's brought down at about the 46-yard line of the Packers. Now, there was a perfect throw by Rick Meyer. It was Craig Newsom beaten on the play by Mike Pritchard, who is out of the University of Colorado, and he just slotted it in a perfect pattern up the right sideline.
Craig Newsom was soundly beaten there, Jim. It could have been a touchdown if Meyer would have let him a little bit more. I think still he had plenty of room, a great pass, but Craig Newsom was beaten bad.
And there's the confidence factor we're talking about.
Yeah, Packers blitzed Wayne Simmons on the play, making one-on-one coverage, and boy, you got to be careful about how aggressive you play when it's one-on-one. You got a dangerous receiver.
First down at the Packer 46-yard line for Seattle. The Packers lead 7-0 I formation. Here's a play-action fake by Meyer. Now he wants to go long down
He's
the
open
sideline.
again.
Incomplete. Oh, man. He had a man open. That was James McKnight, second-year player from Liberty University. The defender back there in the secondary, and that's Leroy Butler, a little slow in getting over to the pattern. If it's not overthrown, that would have been a touchdown.
That was close, but it appeared that Butler might have been able to get there to knock that down had it been a better pass.
But we get a roughing the passer penalty against the Green Bay Packers. It may have been on Reggie White, and that doesn't happen to Reggie very often. And the ball will be a first down at the 31-yard line. We'll watch and see what Reggie did. We're watching it up. My goodness, folks, is that roughing the passer?
That's a bad call.
Oh, my goodness, what a terrible call.
Reggie, without fault, without question, takes it very easy in those situations. That's a bad call.
That is a bad call. First down at the 31-yard line for Seattle. Meyer on the ride to the right, gives it off to Warren. There's nothing there for him. He's brought down to the line as well. He's still trying to go forward, but the whistle had blown and stopped his forward progress at the 30-yard line.
That time Reggie took out his anger to Howard Ballard, the right tackle for the Seahawks. And Howard's a former Pro Bowler. Reggie is a current Pro Bowler, and we saw the difference right
Well,
there.
Howard's good size, 6'6", 325 pounds.
I think it showed. Don't make Reggie real mad or nobody will block him.
Second down and 10 at the 30-yard line. 7-0 ball game, the Packers. Rick Meyer, two receivers off to the left side, and the tight end is tight right for Seattle Seahawks. I formation. Here's the ride and a play-action fake by Meyer, and here they come after him again, and he's picked on Reggie White at the 40. Reggie to the 45, to the 45 at the other end of the 30, and the ball knocked out of his hands out of bounds. It'll be the Packer ball at about the 4-yard line. The Packers will get it at the 5. Reggie on the interception like a gazelle down the sideline.
Somebody took a page out of the book from last week and punched the ball out, but it went out of bounds, which will mean the Packers will get it.
Chris Warren did the Robert Brooks at the end of that play. But initial fumble was caused by Sean Jones. Great play.
Well, they're going to mark the ball at the 21. They say they cannot advance the fumble, and it wasn't advanced by the Packers. It was knocked out. That's an interesting call. That ball was knocked out by Seattle. It wasn't knocked out or tossed out by the Packers. Reggie tried to protect it, but it was knocked away from him. Maybe they ruled it. He hit it last. Nonetheless, it's the Packer ball at the 21, and what a big play that is.
No, it doesn't make a difference who hits it last. They must control the ball, and the Packers had last control of the ball.
Well, I know it was the Packer ball. I wasn't concerned about that, but the fact that the ball was out of bounds at the 5 is what was interesting. So the ball will go back to the 21. Split the 2 running backs. Man in motion to the left side is Edgar Bennett on first down. Brett Favre pumps. Now goes to the sideline again with Don Beebe and overthrow him on a fade pattern. Down and out to the sidelines. And it was overthrown. Only Beebe had a chance to catch it, but it was a little long.
Pretty good coverage by Carlton Gregg.
Yeah, it was. He was well covered. No room. Reggie White taking a little oxygen. You know, those big guys, 300 pounds, not used to running a 100-yard, 50-yard dash.
The ball, I think, was deflected and came into Reggie's hands, or he got out there and maybe deflected it himself and caught it. Today's game brought to you by Beechwood Aged Budweiser. For a taste you'll find in no other beer at any price. This Bud's for you. Desmond Howard to the right. Boy, you can already see you're missing Robert Brooks, the confidence factor for the quarterback, Brett Favre. Second down and 10 at the 21. Here's Brett on the right up the middle to Dorsey Levens. He gets across the 20, down to about the 19. They were looking for a big hole that didn't develop, and he is dropped, and Dean Wells, who's the man who made the tackle.
Aaron Taylor, another short inside trap. Aaron Taylor pulling, but running over and in between Sam Adams, stumbled and no block.
So it is going to be third down at about 8 yards to go. A minute 42 to go here in a long first quarter. Stopped for about 10 minutes when Robert Brooks was hit in the head and was taken off the field for a concussion. Third down. Still no later word. They were saying he was to be evaluated. Third down and about 8. 2 receivers to the right for the Packers on this third down play. Brett Favre rolling to the right, and he's going to throw the screen back to the left to Edgar Bennett. Bennett inside, only gets back to the line of scrimmage. What a great play by the linebacker Winston Moss, the veteran, who played it. It looked like Edgar Bennett might be able to walk that baby into the end zone, and Moss stopped him.
No, they played that very good. The Packers had everything going right in order to influence the play. It didn't work, but not enough yardage.
Yeah, I think the timing was poor on it because the offensive linemen were out there too early before Edgar. So they're out there laying on the ground. By the time Edgar gets there, their blocks are done history, and the defenders are back up.
And you know what also happened on the play? Brett had to throw it a little high, and it took the ball a long time to get there.
36 yards.
So it'll be a field goal try by Chris Jackie of 36 yards. Hendrick to hold. Little high snap. The ball down. The kick is on the way, and the kick is good. The Packers take the lead 10-0 in the ball game. Well, Target is a proud sponsor of the Packers Radio Network. Stock up on your Packer clothing at the Target Packer Apparel Center, where they have department store quality at Target prices. Target. Expect more, but pay less. That's the third Reggie White interception since 1991, and that's another $100 on the pick and set.
Offensive player after a turnover, it just looks like the field's going downhill.
Well, that's really max a 6 to 10 point turnover, because we recall that Seattle was driving in the possibility of a touchdown on the play.
Well, I tell you, if you don't think the turnovers make a difference, you look at the first 3 they won, the one they lost, and the one they're doing here today. Turnovers are just the biggest thing in football.
So it'll be another kickoff for Craig Hendricks, the third one that he has done in this first quarter of the ball game. 34 seconds remain in it, and a score of 10-0 the Packers. Hendricks to do the kicking off. Here's Craig, and this one is a line drive. Now it kind of hangs up, and it will be taken by Broussard at the 4, to the 10. Looks to the right, to the 20, through a hole and tries to slide away, and he couldn't do it. Pretty good tackle in the open field made for the Packers. And the man out there to make, well, I always
Keith
lose.
McKenzie.
It is McKenzie, and we have a Seattle player down on the field. A Seattle player down, and they're going to work on him to make sure that he's all right before we play anymore. Philip Daniels, the defensive end on the kickoff team, is down, and they have called a timeout. True Value is proud to sponsor the True Value NFL Man of the Year Award, honoring players who've made a difference both on and off the field. True Value, the official hardware store of the National Football League. Larry, the Packers are still not in that same sync offensively that they were in those first 3 games.
No, they're not. And I think you guys were talking about, Max mentioned the confidence factor in Brett. I mean, there's times when he will thread that needle and put it in there where nobody can, and we're not seeing that quite yet. But I believe as the game goes on, he gets confidence in his protection again.
Right.
That's where it all starts.
Yeah, I think that's it, too. All right, the final scores earlier today. The Bears win it late, 19-17 over Oakland after trailing 17-3 at one time in the game. Denver 14, Cincinnati 10. It's Baltimore 17, New Orleans 10. Detroit defeats Tampa Bay 27-0. Detroit's starting to right itself as well. And it is the New York Giants upsetting Minnesota by a score of 15-10. And the Packers trying to tie for the Central Division lead if they can win here this afternoon.
I'll tell you, they're playing hard enough to win, Jim. They're putting the effort forward.
Let's see, we got all kinds of notes, as I told you earlier. Wish a happy birthday to Dick Kruger from his daughters, Cindy and Becky, who are in Seattle. He is the one, they say, who taught us that during Packer games, you turn the TV on, but the sound down, and tune in to our broadcast. Well, that's a very wise man, you know that? Yeah. We like him.
Keeps us employed.
All right, Daniels is up and walking off the field. Here's a note that says, we drove from Iron River, Wisconsin. Want to say hi to all of their friends at the A&W. Can you help us out? Dick and Karen Peterson. Well, if you drive all the way from Iron River, you deserve.
I guess.
How far would that be? That's a lot of miles. It's at least a 3-hour plane ride, so the drive would be considerably more than that. All right.
Might as well just move out.
The ball will be placed at the 26-yard line, and we're about ready to go. The injured player, Philip Daniels, is off the field with 24 seconds to go in the first quarter. We've been here almost an hour playing, and we're only at the end of the first quarter. Rick Meyer, the quarterback. So far, Rick is 3 out of 12 in pros. First down out of an I formation. Here's the ride and the handoff, and try to slide through and block down at about a yard deep on the line of scrimmage is the secondary running back. That appeared to be, was that Reggie Brown or was that Lamar Smith? It is Lamar Smith.
It was Darius Holland squelching him, though.
Yeah.
Darius in for Gilbert, spelling Gilbert, but Darius, he can bring it as well.
So that's going to be the end of the first quarter. At the end of one, it's Green Bay 10 and a total of nothing for the Seattle Seahawks at this moment. 10-0. We'll be back after we pause for this on the Packer Radio Network.
Rembrandt, Michelangelo, Renoir, now Dan Marino and...
Throw quick pattern this time to the outside and overshot his intended receiver on the far side of the field, Brian Blades. Blades at 5'11", 190 in his 9th year from the University of Miami. So it will be third down, and the fans getting a little bit upset with Rick Meyer early, but he's already shown an ability to throw the long ball, Max, in this ball game.
Unfortunately, it was to Eugene Robinson.
But Eugene ran a nice pattern.
You know, John Freeze, the backup here, is not a bad quarterback.
No, not at all.
Erickson calls him the best backup in the league. Maybe we'll see him.
Going to be third down, and 8 yards to go for Seattle. And back goes Meyer to throw again. They try to get some pressure on. Had some time this time. Unloads upfield, incomplete. Moving to the outside that time was Mike Pritchard. Now that he had plenty of time to throw, and he had a pretty good pattern run by Pritchard. He just overshot him upfield.
Just overshot him. That's just a bad pass.
So it is going to be kicking time. Rick Tootin will come in. The last one he hit for about 60 yards. Here in the second quarter, I want to give you our Bud Packer payoff contestant here in the second quarter of the ball game, in case one of these things might be run back, huh? So we'd like. Here is the kick. Low line drive could be returned. Desmond Howard to the 23-yard line. Howard to the right, reverses, trying to find a hole, comes up the middle. He's to the 40 and drilled down at the 40-yard line. Good return by Desmond Howard, and a timeout on the field. It is 10-0 the Packers. We'll take a break and be back after this on the Packer Radio Network. Quick Trip Stores throughout Wisconsin. First out at the 40-yard line for the Packers, who lead 10-0. Man in motion to the right, Edgar Bennett. Back to throw is Brett Favre. Now it breaks down. I has to come up over the middle. It is caught by John Beebe. And Beebe kept working and got open at about the 47-yard line and a gain of 7 yards. Brett bought a little time, and Beebe got himself open on the play.
Yes, he did, and the Packers are playing it smart with John Michaels. Michaels has held up well so far by himself, but that time William Henderson over there, little moral support never hurts.
You know, when you need gas, stop at any of your neighborhood Quick Trip stores. Quick Trip is the home of Quick Trip quality gasoline, guaranteed to never cause fuel-related problems in your car. Available exclusively at Quick Trip. Second down, about 3 yards to go. In motion is Antonio Freeman. Here's the handoff to Bennett. Tries to slide inside. Does. Keeps his feet and drives to the 50-yard line for a first down. Then he gets pushed backward a little roughly by the Seattle Seahawks after he gets that first down. Seattle And now we got Earl Dotson coming in, and Earl didn't like the way his running back was being treated. And I can understand that because he got pushed down rather hard. Jay Bellamy, one of those in for Seattle on the play. But it's close to a first down at midfield.
Just fine running by Edgar Bennett. I mean, getting that first down, last 3 yards of that was just desire on Edgar's part.
And that got him a first down. Our Bud Packer payoff contestant in this quarter is Bill Kells from Menominee Falls, Wisconsin. So, Bill, you've won that cooler. Let's see if we can't win you some more money here in this ball game and see if that makes you feel any better. So a first down in midfield for the Packers. Single running back, this time in Edgar Bennett. Got a tight end on the left side. The tight ends really have not been involved in the game yet. Here's Brett on first down to throw. He steps up. Now it's breaking down on him, and down he goes. Boy, that ball was hanging out there loosely, and he could not get away from the defender, which is Cortez Kennedy. 6'3", 306 pounds in his 7th year from Miami. But again, a little bit of reluctance on the part of Brett to throw the thing.
You're right, Jim. And, his feet, he gets back there, and he just doesn't seem as confident he was in those earlier games. And that time, they got him and put him in a bad hole.
Aaron Taylor was working against Kennedy and had him probably long enough to get the ball away. But like Max mentioned, Brett a little tentative right now.
You may see the Packers go to a little quicker rhythm patterns because they are just struggling at the moment, and now Brett's going to have to take a timeout. Unable to decide what they're going to do, they'll take a timeout, and we will take a break and be back after we pause for this. This is the Packer Radio Network.
Whether it's body work or paint work, take your vehicle to Dave's Auto Body 2 and Frame in Amory. Free estimates, free pickup and delivery, free loaner cars, full collision repairs for foreign and domestic autos, and you receive prompt service. Satisfying customers for 25 years. Dave's Auto Body 2 and Frame, Highway 46 South in Amory, next to River Place Mall, and located in Milltown. When you think of body work and collision repair, think Dave's Auto Body 2 and Frame.
And here's Brett Favre with a slant pattern through it behind his receiver. It was catchable by Antonio Freeman, but Maxey has to reach back. If he catches it in stride, he's going to make about 15 yards on the play.
You're not going to catch that pass reaching back, Jim, with that much on it. That has to be thrown right in the chest.
Spoken by only one who's been out there and knows that.
That's how your fingers got all crooked, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. You don't want those slants behind you, that's for sure.
So it is going to be 3rd down and 15. And again, you're just trying to feel the confidence level for the Packers to pick up. And at the moment, it has not done so. 3rd down and 15. And Seattle's defense starting to gain a little bit of the momentum of the ball game. Now they send Keith Jackson in motion to the far side of the field. Here's Brett back to throw. They keep Keith in for blocking purposes. Brett comes up the sidelines to Beebe and overshot it. Beebe made a nice turn and would have been open, but the ball was a little bit to the outside and a little short of the intended receiver. And so it is an incomplete forward pass, and Brett Favre is 3 out of 10.
Well, not hitting very well there, Jim. I didn't like the pattern by Beebe. He didn't give him enough room to throw the ball. If you're going to run that square out, you've got to run it inside a little more and then break it out. He was right on the sideline, no place to throw it.
Entry to do the kicking. Joey Galloway back to return it for Seattle. He's standing back at the 10.
He's taken one the distance already this season.
He did. And this is a high floater that's going to be short, and Galloway's going to let it hit, and it takes a big Packer bounce, and he's going to have to get out of the way of the ball, and it bounces inside the 15, inside the 10. Still taking a Packer roll, and it will go down to about the 7-yard line. I'll say this about Craig Hentrick. He has gotten a ton of good breaks in the ball game so far today.
Good things happen to good people. He is a good guy.
He is a good guy. Timeout on the field. And we got a flag down late at the 20-yard line. There is a late flag at the 20-yard line, and we'll wait and see what Rick Blum, who is the official today, has to say about that one. And he's talking with 2 other officials at the 20, but it is Seattle retreating even deeper into the end zone.
I think they ought to penalize these officials for having too much time in the huddle.
All right, 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Packer Radio Network.
For St. Croix Falls, Ridgeland, and all of Wisconsin's great Northwest, this is WJMC-FM, Rice Lake, Spooner.
Holding on the receiving team while the ball was in the air. Had it been before, it certainly would have been a first down for the Packers. We've got a break, and we'll be back after this on the Packer Radio Network.
Freshness hotline, what's the problem?
Yeah, I've fallen and I can't reach my beer.
Excuse me?
It's the half the distance to the goal line. Do you know what happened this weekend, guys? Up in Wausau, the Wausau Senior High School class of 1946 held its 50th reunion. and one of their key members wasn't able to be there. Jim Palm gave up that reunion to be with us today. Can you imagine that?
Oh, I think that's great.
Thanks, Jim, for coming out with us.
Sacrifice.
And he wants to wish congratulations to all of his buddies. Here's the handoff straight up the middle, and diving to about the 7-yard line is Chris Warren. Straight ahead charge by Warren, and a good strong 4 yards on a first down play deep in his own territory. 12:04 remaining here in the first half of the game, 10-0 in favor of the Green Bay Packers. Mike Pryor and Ty Williams will come in defensively, and out go Brian Williams and George Kuntz, but Kuntz wasn't supposed to go out. Now they're totally confused. They send 2 people out. Williams goes out. Kuntz stays in, and Simmons started to come out. He's the one who's corrected everybody. Second down at about 6. Here's Meyer on the ride, and the handoff to Warren comes back against the flow out to about the 10-yard line, and a gain of about 3 yards.
Tell you what, George Kuntz did a fine job of pursuing down the line of scrimmage, and boy, behind those big offensive linemen, it's tough to even see the guy reacted very well.
Well, you know who has done a terrific job is Jimmy Lind, who has handled the linebackers. He made some transitions, moved George into the middle, brought Wayne Simmons and Brian Williams along. That's a heck of a coaching job by Jimmy Lind.
Yeah, one of the key moves of the preseason was making George Kuntz the middle guy, Brian Williams the starter.
Third down and 3.5 yards to go for Seattle at their own 10-yard line for Rick Meyer. Meyer straight back in the pocket. Short drop comes upfield. Didn't even come close, folks. Did not even come close to a receiver on the outside. But the coverage was so good, he had no chance to get that play in there anyway.
Well, not to the guy he threw to. He was perfectly covered. There was just nobody to throw to, Jim. This is not a real good-looking pass offense.
Fine job by Doug Evans protecting a dangerous receiver in Brian Blades.
Well, they need a big kick out of Rick Tootin, or the Packers should have good field position again. The Packers lead 10-0 in the ball game. Tootin is standing back in the end zone. The snap comes from the 10-yard line. It's a good snap and no rush. And this is a high floater. Boy, this is a nice kick. It's back to the 40 where Desmond Howard's going to have to elude a man. Goes to the right, gets a partial block, gets around a corner to the 40, to the 45, to midfield, and a good return by Desmond Howard. Sometimes Maxie heads for the sideline. That time he did not.
No, he didn't, and boy, he's a little dangerous back there, Jim. He looks like he's going to break one every time.
Guy that got him started, Corey Dowden, a pretty speedy customer in his own right.
Ball will start at midfield for the Packers. You know you could win a new Artie Cat Puma Deluxe snowmobile. No purchase is necessary. Just enter when you visit your participating Artie Cat dealer, including Pro Motorsports in Fond du Lac and R-Town Power in Stoughton. So a first down at the 50-yard line. Just got to get the Packer offense on track. There has been no consistency, and it's like in the preseason when Mike said, I'd like to see a 9 or 10-yard drive, a 10-play drive, and that's what you'd like to see for the Packers, too. Right now, first down at midfield for Green Bay. Brett Favre has 2 receivers to the right, goes back to throw on first down, and looking, and now running. Has to dump it off at the last moment to Dorsey Levens, and Levens makes that a 10-yard play. Dorsey Levens down at the 49-yard line. Sheer willpower by Dorsey Levens to get 10 yards out of the play, dragging a tackler down to the 39-yard line.
Brett Favre hanging with the play. Dorsey, his very last option, just a late comer out of the backfield, and Brett hanging in there until he got the ball to him.
I think they're looking across the way to see whether or not it's a first down. They're going to bring the sticks all the way across. It does appear to be a first down for the Packers. We'll remind you to check out the latest in fall fashions at Putzer's Big and Tall. Right now, take advantage of Putzer's fall catalog sale. Save on this season's hottest looks. For a free catalog, call Putzer's toll-free at 1-800-592-6266 or visit the Putzer's nearest you. They bring the sticks all the way across the field to measure, and William Henderson says that's a first down, and so does Ron Blum. So at 10:31, we're still in the first half with 10:31 to go, 10-0 ball game. And it has been a slow-moving game to this point. But the Packers are back at the 39-yard line. Henderson and Bennett are in. And they'll take out Desmond Howard and Dorsey Levens from the lineup. So Dorsey with a 10-yard pass catch. And the 4th completion of the day for Brett Favre. Officially now he is 4 out of 11, not 12. So it is Beebe to the left and Antonio Freeman to the right. He's had trouble getting it to the wide receiver. A first down play from the 39. Here's Brett and a handoff flag on the play, and the drive is forward for a couple of yards. I think that might be offsides because the flag was thrown and the play was underway.
I think the left tackle defensively lined up offside.
I think you're absolutely right. That's what the official has ruled, that they're offside, so that'll be a free 5 yards for the Green Bay Packers on that play.
Defense lined up in the neutral zone. Hey, 5 yards.
You got them good eyes, don't you?
I'm looking right down the line here, and here's a guy who's got his hand on the other side of the football. Somebody ought to saw that.
Hey, we got a note here. Helena, Montana. Mark and Kathy Navala from Helena, Montana want to say hi to their friends back in Wisconsin. Boy, if you come all the way from Helena, that can't be too close either, is it?
That's not that far.
Well, yeah, but Seattle's all the way here to the coast practically, or at least to an inlet to the coast. First down and 5 at the 34-yard line of Seattle for the Packers. Here's Brett Favre, play action fake, looks, comes up over the middle, incomplete off. Should have been caught. He put it right in the breadbasket of the intended receiver for the Packers, and that's Jim Irwin. Jim Irwin normally catches that ball. He may have had it deflected by the defender reaching in.
Pretty good coverage by Michael Barber. It's one of those that can go either way. Been a great catch as it was an incompletion.
Well, you know, I like the fact that Brett Favre threw that pass. Yep, it may have been 54 who got a hand on it.
I'll tell you, it's crowded up in the middle of that field. That Seattle defense is not giving those tight ends any room.
That was Barber who got a hand in there, so it is second down and 5 at the 34-yard line. Brett Favre waits. Favre on the delay, hands it off to Edgar Bennett. He's hit right at the line of scrimmage. Not going anywhere, and again, it's Barber who makes the tackle. Right there, and Winston Moss comes in to help out on the tackle, and no gain on the play. It becomes third down for the Packers, and again, the search for the consistency is still there, and it's not being found.
Packers trying to get a little cross-blocking gun. They got their signals crossed and let Barber scot-free.
Natalie Lacker and Jeff Pozarski, who got married 5 years ago and moved here from Eau Claire, say they miss us. Isn't that nice of them?
Yeah.
All right, Beebe to the left. 2 receivers to the right for the Packers on third down and 5. Favre has become a lot of people at the line of scrimmage. Brett back to throw. Loops it down the right sidelines. Nobody there. Intended it for Desmond Howard. Looked to be a little bit of confusion on Brett's part where the ball was going, and there was no chance for that ball to be caught. It is fourth down. Isn't that an interesting play?
Yeah, Max, what do you think? It looked like a timing pattern because Brett goes back and lets it go. Receiver's got to be real precise with his route. That's where my question is on the play.
So it didn't look like a good route or a good pass.
Well, he looked like he threw it right in rhythm. He went back, boom, and threw it in rhythm, but it was nowhere near the receiver. So there is a struggle going on out here. And they decide not to try the field goal, which would have been an awfully long field goal of about 52 to 54 yards. So they're going to do the punt.
Well, you got to kick it straight up here or out of bounds.
Well, he's trying to aim for the sidelines, and he kicked it into the end zone. He had a line drive into the end zone.
That's a 10-yard, 15 yards, all you got out of that.
We'll get a timeout on the field, 10-0 to Packers. We'll take a break and be back after this on the Packer Radio Network.
A tough defense by Seattle. Plus, I still think that Brett is suffering a little bit from last week. He just doesn't seem to get back and get set. You know, he's always waiting to try to get out of there real quick because he thinks they're coming on it.
He has thrown for only 32 yards so far in this ballgame. Here's Rick Meyer on the first down play, and here comes Wayne Simmons. He got away from it. Meyer runs it up midfield, and Meyer will take it down at the 29. Boy, Simmons had him dead in sight, and he just was picked up by Meyer, who stepped inside, and he bounced off, and Simmons is down back at the 5-yard line. I think he's just exhausted, folks. I didn't see anybody hit him or anything, and the Packers are out there quickly to take care of him.
It better not be exhausted. It just came off a timeout.
Well, you know what? Now, that's not Simmons. Simmons got up.
No, that's not Simmons.
It was somebody, and Simmons may have been hit by the person who is down coming in from the other side. We'll watch and see. That might be Reggie. Reggie came from the other side. It could have hit him in the knee.
Very reminiscent of last year at Minnesota when Reggie ran into Sean Jones.
It could very well be, and we'll stay right here. They are not looking at the leg, however. He's on his stomach. Now he's rolling over. I don't think there's anything wrong with his lower body. He may just have the wind knocked from him the way they hit out there. It is Reggie who is down, and I can't tell you exactly what happened other than the fact that Simmons hit him, and that may have been the reason that Wayne didn't make the play as well, because they were both coming in at the same time.
Well, it's one of the best things Meyer does, and that's run with the football. In fact, he's probably a bigger threat running than passing.
Well, he has over 100 yards running right now after that run for about 9 yards. And Reggie's going to be able to get up and walk off on his own power. Reggie will come out of the ball game and be okay.
Big round of applause from probably the Shutterheads and the Seahawks fans that just respect the great player.
And Max. I think Max was applauding too.
Was he?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I'm glad to see old Reggie up. Is that Reggie?
So it's going to be second down and a yard to go for Seattle. The ball just shy of the 30-yard line. And Chris Warren, the lone running back. Now they're going to put Max Strong back there as a blocking back for him as well. On a second and short, here's the ride and the handoff, and Warren didn't get back to the line of scrimmage. Now he may have slid forward.
He got a first down after he was trapped.
I saw Eugene Robinson reach down and pick up something. I thought it was the ball. It turned out to be a Packer helmet is what he did. That was a pretty good play because he was stopped. Gilbert Brown is the one who lost his helmet, and he was stopped and then slid forward to a little hole and got the first down for Seattle. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line.
With 2nd and inches, the first is probably a foregone conclusion, but they have yet to block Gilbert Brown. He split 2 of them to make the play.
1st down at the 31 for Seattle. 10-0 in favor of the Packers. 7:47 to go in the first half of the game. Meyer with a single running back, and here's the handoff. Warren trying to find the outside depth and gets to about the 36-yard line and a gain of 5. That's reminiscent of the play that was run for about 37 yards for the winning touchdown last week. But this time, Robinson is over to help make the tackle with Laura and Butler, and they bring him down for about 5 yards on the play. 2nd down and 5.
The Seahawks running in between Santana Dotson and Gabe Wilkins in Reggie's place, and both of them just got tied up with their blocks too long.
2nd down. You said last week in looking there might have been some holding on that touchdown by Minnesota.
Brian Williams, George Cooch both got tackled.
Reggie's back in there.
Here is the 2nd down play. Meyer with a short drop.
Here they come.
Too long, and down goes the ball free. Picked up by the Packers. Dotson at the 30, and Dotson to the 29. Santana Dotson gets the fumble recovery, and he was hit, was Rick Meyer, and the ball came bouncing loose, and the Packers will have it at the 29, and that might have been Reggie among others who got there.
Among others is Wayne Simmons. They blitzed him from the other side that time, and in he came and caused the fumble.
So the Packers get a great field position again. That was Simmons who knocked it free, and the ball came right out in front of Santana Dotson with those good hands, and a 1st down at the 28-yard line of Seattle. And now you really just have to get this ball in the end zone. It's time to quit messing around and go downfield with the ball.
You must capitalize when you get these kind of breaks. Otherwise, the other team will get them and you'll get beat. So the Packers need to score here.
So it is a 1st down at the 28-yard line. Packers are looking to get into the end zone. They lead 10-0 in the ball game. Here's Brett Favre. Favre on the handoff. They ride it to the right to Edgar Bennett to the 25, maybe the 24, and a gain of about 4 yards on the play. This is the way the Packers have played the last couple of weeks, and they didn't have a lot of time with the ball last week. But it was early in Brett's career when they seemed to go sideways, much more so than they went up and down the field. And they've been going a little bit sideways here in the last couple of ball games.
Fine job right there by Adam Timmerman, pulling around, getting on Michael Barber, and staying with him. That's the key to the running game, sustaining your block, sticking and staying.
Keith Jackson comes into the lineup now, and they'll go with 2 tight ends. 2nd down and about 6 yards to go from the 25-yard line. 3rd turnover today by the Seattle Seahawks. Here's Brett Favre rolling to the right, wants to throw, got a man open, throws it upfield, 1st down at the 16-yard line. And I mean a terrific catch by Don Beebe, who then got drilled by Darrell Williams on the play, but he held on for the 1st down. And Beebe, the veteran's got the pretty good hands.
Nice throw by Brett Favre, because that time Edgar Bennett missed his cut block on Michael Sinclair, the defensive end. Brett jumped over and got it completed.
And he stayed with the play and threw the ball, too.
He really did. That was an excellent play for a 1st down. And Beebe, you know, he caught a lot of passes over at Buffalo thrown by Jim Kelly.
Beebe goes splitting wide left. Antonio Freeman to the right. Freeman has the only touchdown of the day. Here's Brett Favre on a 1st down play. Play action fake. Comes up over the middle. It is caught by Chimura. 1st and goal at the 6-yard line. Slant pattern that time, run by the tight end. And Chimura caught the ball and goes down at the 6-yard line. 1st and goal for Green Bay, and this is starting to look better.
Nice. Yeah, that's the way you get him out of those problems, is get those quick rhythm passes, and bam, there's nobody better than delivering them than Brett Favre.
Nice, precise route by Chimura, getting behind the linebacker, Michael Barber, and in front of the safety, Robert Blackman. It's got to be precise, just what it was.
I'll tell you what, the defender took a little shot at the head that time of Mark Chimura when he caught the ball. Fortunately, hit him in the shoulder, but there was a head blow aimed at him that could have hurt really to the point that it might take you out of the ball game. Got to be careful about that. Short of the 1st down, they tell us, by inches, so it will be 2nd down for Green Bay. Today's game brought to you by Super America, proud sponsors of the Super America Super Kickoff Contest, where you can win that $6,200. 2nd down and inches at the 6-yard line for the Packers.
Packers going with 2 tight ends near the goal line here.
Well, I tell you, having it short of the 1st down gives them 5 downs here, so actually it's kind of nice that it wasn't a 1st down.
Well, that's if you can get the 1st down.
Yeah, if you can get 2 inches.
Well, there's been a problem about that on a couple of occasions, so we'll have to see what happens here. So the Packers will send Beebe off to the left, and Antonio Freeman is a slot on the left side, and the lone running back is Edgar Bennett. Now they put Keith Jackson up on the line of scrimmage. Chimera in the backfield. Here's a play-action fake, and rolling to the right. Brett Favre fires upfield, and incomplete. Intended it for Chimera, and pretty well covered by the Seattle Seahawks. The ball had to be thrown hard, and Chimera just couldn't pull it in. He was down around his knees. He tried to go down and get it about the 2-yard line, and unable to do so, so it becomes 3rd down and inches.
That's one of their pet plays in that situation, Jim. That time, Chimera couldn't hold on to it, but they love on short yardage to do that little rollout, and usually that tight end's wide open.
Yeah, he was well covered on that particular play there.
Michael Barber, if there's one thing he can do is run, and he'd stay with Chimera very well.
All right, 3rd down and still inches to go for the Packers with Brett Favre calling the play. Here's Brett, quarterback sneak. You don't see that very often.
But he got
the
it.
1st down. Brett Favre sneaking for the quarterback sneak, and now we got Adam Timmerman a little bit upset with some of the people in the way that they are treating his friend. No, that's wait a minute. Is that Timmerman?
It's Timmerman.
Yeah, it was Adam
And then Michael
Timmerman.
Barber getting into it.
Yeah, there's a lot of chippiness going on around the league here lately. I saw some of that today in the earlier game. Of course, you expect that with Oakland and the Bears playing. Oakland just seems to come out and want to hurt you.
Well, they're the most penalized team in football and have been for the last 20 years.
And it's odd. They take pride in that.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether they take pride in losing. This game's action brought to you by Kelly Tires and Ponce Tire Service, where you always get a good deal on a great tire. Kelly Tires. They measure, and they say it is a 1st and goal at the 5.5-yard line for the Packers. 4:58 to go in the first half. 10-0 in favor of Green Bay. Got some cheeseheads in the audience here today.
I don't think Mike Holmgren would ever do it, but the way the defense is dominating Seattle, I'd go 4 shots no matter what from the 5.
You'd like to get out in front that extra touchdown, wouldn't you? 10-0 is a nice lead, but you need to put more space, more pressure on Rick Myers. 1st and goal at the 5.5-yard line for Brett Favre. Single running back in Edgar Bennett. Here's Brett on the right, and the handoff goes to Bennett, cuts inside one defender, and goes down to about the 3-yard line. He went to the outside there, had actually tried to draw off to the outside, and he cut back inside, but he gets down to about the 3 and a gain of 2 yards. They're going to mark it at the 4, really. 2nd and goal at the 4-yard line. Here comes Henderson, and here comes Dorsey Levens. Interesting running play without Henderson in to do the blocking.
Yeah, not bad push by John Michaels at the point. Not bad, not great, but not bad.
So it is going to be 2nd and goal at the 4-yard line. To the line of scrimmage come the Packers. Frank Winters over the ball for Green Bay, and they have a wing on the right side. Everybody else is inside. Here's Brett, play action fake, and now watch out. He's being chased as he goes to the right. He's got a man open. Dorsey Levens. Levens, as Favre gets leveled by Winston Moss. Favre released the ball. Dorsey Levens tried to catch it in the end zone, and the Packers score.
Boy, they lost him. I'll tell you, they're all looking for the tight end, Jim, and Dorsey Levens running alone, and Favre picked him up, and that's the Brett Favre we know.
Packers confused him further by faking the reverse to Antonio Freeman, and they're chasing him, chasing Brett. Dorsey Levens wide open.
But didn't you think it might be taking too long because Moss was just an instant behind?
Not at this point, I don't.
Favre with his 14th touchdown pass of the year. And this one goes to Dorsey Levens. The ball is down, the kick is on the way, and the kick is good, and it becomes 17-0. Let me see, for Levens, that will be touchdown number 2. Dorsey Levens out of the backfield. He made a great catch, Max. He had to jump to catch that ball.
Levens has good hands, Jim. He's a good football player, and I agree. Last week, he never got in the game very much and wasn't much of a factor, but you give him the ball, he's strong. You know, my question is to you and Larry, if you've got the best backup in the league and your starter looks like he may be the worst, when do you make a switch? I'm talking about for Seattle, of course.
That's the 3rd turnover.
They've done it once this year.
You know, it's interesting. The 17 points all have come off Seattle mistakes. But that's the way the game of football is played.
You got it.
It's a game of mistakes. The team that makes the fewest mistakes sometimes wins.
If a decent offense only has 28 yards to go, a lot better chance of scoring a touchdown.
Midwest Express Airlines wants to take this opportunity to salute M&I Data Systems, their partner in crime. Midwest Express Airlines, the best care in the air, the official airline of the Green Bay Packer Radio Network. All right, the kickoff with 3:54 to go here in quarter number 2. Here's the kick by Hentry. This one a high floater. Broussard is going to take it at about the 4. Broussard back to the 5, to the 10, to the outside looking for a hole. Ooh, he gets around one man and out of bounds at about the 26. I'll tell you what, somebody downfield for the Packers at about the 15-yard line was being manhandled and ridden down and couldn't quite make the play. McKenzie gave up his body on that particular play for the Packers.
Held.
What amazes me is these runners that run the ball immediately head for their best ally, the sidelines.
Seahawk fans are thrilled with Rick Meyer's presence.
I want to remind you, today's contestant in the Quick Trip Quick Score contest didn't correctly pick the first Packer to score in the second quarter, but maybe you can enter to win a year's supply of quality gasoline at your neighborhood Quick Trip stores throughout Wisconsin. Would you say you'd always pick the field goal kicker in that kind of a contest?
That was it. I missed that.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Here's the ride and the handoff to Chris Warren. Warren is grabbed by George Kuntz as he reaches the 29-yard line. You said in the first player to score in the second quarter, the contest that we have, that the best bet is the field goal kicker.
I said that?
Didn't you?
Well, I should have. But...
Okay. Well, I was just trying to add luster to your already lustered career.
And the Seahawks running game really having problems getting a blocker out on George Kuntz because we're using up 2 to handle the Packers' defensive front.
Got to be second down and about 7 yards to go. A gain of 3 by Chris Warren. Single running back. That's Warren. He's about 7 yards deep. Man in motion to the near side is Blades. Back to throw Meyer, and they're setting up a screen. And Eugene Robinson hit the screen man and lowered the boom on his old friend Chris Warren, and he doesn't even look at him as he walks away. Warren cannot hold the ball. Robinson really laid a lick on him. He knew that play.
I'll tell you, that was the most telegraphed screen pass you'll ever see. Everybody knew what was happening, and Robinson really put it on him.
Well, you know what Robinson said? I practiced against this every day last year. I know what this play is.
It's nice to see Eugene having an impact because you know he wants it real bad. After all, he spent 11 seasons with Seattle.
Third down, 7 for Seattle at their own 30-yard line. Meyer has 3 receivers to the left side, and Meyer's short drop wants to loft the ball up the right sidelines. Beautifully thrown, I think a first down.
Yeah, he caught it.
Nicely thrown and caught on the far right sidelines by Mike Pritchard for the first down at the Packer 47-yard line, and Meyer threw a pretty pass.
That's basically the only pass he's completed all day. A similar pass like that. I don't know why he just don't throw it ever down, because he has no luck otherwise.
Well, not terrible coverage, but it was Craig Newsome once again they're picking on.
Craig's not having the best day that he's had this season. He's been really an inspiration for the Packers, and that time Pritchard got a step on him. First and 10 at the Packer 47-yard line. They've been here before in Packer territory. 17-0 Green Bay, 2:36 to go in a quarter. Here's the ride in the deep hand off to Warren. He found a big hole this time and powers his way down to the 37-yard line. Chris Warren to the 37-yard line near a first down.
That time they did get a blocker. The center, Kevin Mawa, got out on George Kuntz, and it made all the difference in the world. Warren picking up a nice yard.
Kevin Mawa is from LSU, M-A-W-A-E, 6'4", 296-pounder in his third year. So it's going to be, well, listen, we're having a look to see whether or not this is a first down. They're bringing the sticks into measure. We'll tell you that our ball game is brought to you by State Farm Insurance and the State Farm agents throughout Wisconsin. For all of your family insurance needs, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. They say it is a first down. The nose of the ball just touching the stick as they put it down at the 37-yard line of the Packers. So this is a drive that started after the Packers touchdown. And Rick Meyer bought himself some more time, didn't he? Maybe Dennis Erickson in his second year is going to give him a lot of time. Erickson, you understand, started slowly last year. They were 2-6. And then the second half of the season were 6-2 to finish at 8-8. Almost made the playoffs. Here's Meyer on a delay to Chris Warren. Big hole up the middle. Warren slides to the outside.
Oh, my goodness.
Warren to the 10, to the 5, walks in, touchdown. Warren stopped just about 5 yards deep, slid off a tackle, and takes it into the end zone, and they have scored.
Boy, how sudden it happened, Jim. Warren took a little draw play, which the Packers have been covering all day, and he went all the way with it. No problem, no tackling.
Now, that's first and foremost the middle linebacker's play. Wayne Simmons playing middle linebacker, took on the blocker and set him in the wrong direction. Nobody there to tackle Warren.
That's 2 consecutive 37-yard touchdown runs against the Packers in 2 games. This one not the same play. This one went up the middle.
This is not quite as devastating as the last one either.
Well, and so Seattle, when it looked like they might be losing some of their enthusiasm, come back very strongly for a touchdown. Peterson will try the extra point, the ball down, and they try to block it, can't get there. It's good, and it becomes a 17-7 game, and a timeout, the 2-minute warning, back after this from your local station on the Packer Radio Network.
Badger Steel and Fabricating in Rice Lake wants to be your steel supplier. They stock a large...
We send out our best wishes to Joe and Ardell Brazina, who have been Packer season ticket holders for a long, long time, celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary. They were married on September 28th, 1946. Wasn't that the same date that Jim Palm graduated from high school?
I think something like that.
That was the date of Jim Palm's prom.
Oh, yes, it was.
We want to hear about that later.
Later, I will tell you who he took to the prom and all of that sort of stuff.
She's crying at the reunion this weekend, I'll tell you.
She missed out on him. Here's the kickoff. And this one is going to be taken deep by the Packers in the end zone. They're coming out of there. Probably should have stayed in there. And they're going to be down at the 7-yard line. There was confusion on that play from the very beginning. It is Dorsey Leathers who caught the ball. For some reason, he looked like he thought Beebe was going to catch the ball. And then when he got it, he looked to see, am I deep enough in the end zone, and decided late that he was going to come out of there, and he only gets back to the 7-yard line.
Boy, you never want to hesitate in that situation. You either take it out or get out of the play, and he took it out, and that's a bad field position.
On kickoff returns, he who hesitates gets stuck.
Yep. And so now, Seattle with a little momentum going, trailing 17-7, have the Packers deep in their own territory. And they are back now at the 7-yard line.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't go for the big one right off the bat.
First down from the 7.
Got Edgar Bennett splitting way out.
Here's Brett. Short drop. Quick slant pattern to the right side. Caught to the left side, rather out to about the 22-yard line on a quick slant pattern that goes to Antonio Freeman.
Got a man down.
A lot of extracurricular activities going on. Antonio Freeman tried to get his hands up out of the way, and the defender just simply wouldn't let him get up, and that's an obvious move. Corey Harris, and we got a player for Seattle.
Adams.
Well, they're charged with a timeout, and the reason that they are, we're within the 2-minute warning, and that means that anytime you get an injured player down, as the way they have right there, then that means that you must be charged a timeout, and Sam Adams has gotten up on his own power, but it's a little too late. The timeout has already come. Well, the Packers make the best out of every window of opportunity, and Verhalen, your Pella Window Store, offers you an opportunity to buy Designer Series windows and get the exclusive between glass shades and wood dividers free. Only from Verhalen, your Pella Window Store. Well, they get a first down out to the 21 to buy themselves a little bit of room. Sam Adams goes out. That means they have 2 of their starters on the defensive line out. Antonio Edwards couldn't play today, and Adams is out of there. So you start to lose some of your depth factor quickly on that defensive line. First down at the 21. Brett back to throw. Here they come, setting up a screen. And it's broken up, in fact, almost picked off by Winston Moss, who seemed to understand where the play was going.
Yeah, the screens aren't fooling the Seahawks at all today, Jim. We haven't set up one right yet, and so they better quit running them.
No, we might have gotten lucky there. Winston Moss looked awfully close, scarily close to intercepting that ball.
Well, they were right in the face. Cortez Kennedy right in the face, and that ball was right in the hands of Winston Moss, in fact.
And that's 6 the other way.
Yeah, it would have been an easy 6. 17-7 ball game with 1:33 to go in the first half. Here's Brett Favre waiting. Brett on a big yellow, hands it up the middle, and driving to about the 25 is Edgar Bennett. Looked like he was going to fake it, but he gave it to Edgar. Edgar tried to find the hole. They're going to mark it at the 26 again, about 5.
That was that little inside trap. Aaron Taylor pulling and blocking Glenn Montgomery, the guy who's in the ball game for Sam Adams.
Now, here's a big play for you. You don't want to give the ball back to the Seattle Seahawks, and you have a third down and almost 6 yards to go. And with 1 minute and 8 seconds remaining, Packers need to get the first down.
Yeah, the Packers are actually trying to run the clock. They really are. If they'd had some success, they would have been trying to stop the clock, but it appears that they don't think they're going to hold the ball.
I can't believe this. Seattle then decides to take a timeout, and they did it after they had let about 33 seconds go off the clock.
That don't make a lot of sense, but
I think the newspaper columnist tomorrow will call it poor clock management by Dennis Erickson.
Well, they're under some fire here. There's no question. And part of the reason is the fact that the fans are upset with Ken Behring, who wanted to move the club out. There's an option on the club by Paul Allen out of Portland, who owns the Portland Trailblazers. All of the players want him to buy the club because he's got a big airplane that can take them anywhere they want to go. It's his own private 757, I think. And so it'll be interesting to see
your
what
average
happens.
Cessna 150 got parked out at the field, huh?
No. Not that one that Larry drives, I'll tell you that for sure. So the ball will be at the 26-yard line at the half. Lynn Casper will be here with you and Bill Scott to talk about what's going on in this first half. And believe you me, it's not a confident first half for the Packers that I can see.
Well, no, I think finally Brett got back on track again, Jimmy. He was so antsy early in the game trying to get, make sure he didn't get trapped back there and get a lot of sacks. And all at once he got untangled, and the Packer offense looked like it did earlier in the year.
Well, the Packers have 2 timeouts remaining, but they need a first down right here. And they need 6 yards from the 26-yard line. They send a man in motion to the right. That's Keith Jackson. Here's a play-action fake, and they throw it upfield to Dorsey Levens, and Dorsey couldn't get the first down.
Just short.
He's knocked down at the 29. That's a good saving play by Seattle, and it was Corey Harris who knocked him down right about the 30-yard line. So it will be 4th down, and the Packers, with 48 seconds and the clock running, will kick the ball away. In fact, they can let all but 20 seconds go off of that clock for Craig Henry to kick it, and that probably would be a good idea right now. Packers get one good, nice pass play to get them out to the 21, but then kind of just played out the rest of the clock from that point on. We're down to 30 seconds remaining. And Hendrick may just take a delay of game here. Or they may take a timeout. It's down to 23, 22, 21, and they take a timeout. Packers don't need it. Those timeouts in the locker room don't do you a lot of good, so you might as well take them right here.
Can't put them in the bank.
And that's what they've done. So they stop the clock, and that'll give them a kick with 20 seconds remaining. But again, it's Joey Galloway who's back there to return it. He's the guy you have to watch out for. Today's Packer broadcast proudly sponsored by your local Train Heating and Cooling dealer. Remember, it's hard to stop a train. Anyway, at the halftime, we'll have a lot of information for you, give you all of the scores of the games that have been played up to this point and the late afternoon games, how they are progressing. Pittsburgh a winner today over Houston. That was to be a big ball game. Houston had played well, but Pittsburgh got 10 points early on turnovers, as the Packers did here, and coasted to a relatively easy victory. The Packers lead at 17-7 with 20 seconds left in the first half. See, we have a Seattle injury. Reggie Brown has a fractured jaw, will not return. Not surprised that you wouldn't return with a fractured jaw, are you?
That would tend to smart a little bit, wouldn't it?
When he returns, he'll be much lighter.
I got a nice letter from Daniel Mooney, a fax sent to me. Daniel Mooney is an actor with the Milwaukee Rep Company, and a good actor at that, out here, appearing in a play with the Seattle Rep Company. He says he wishes he could be here, but he's got to rehearse today. Wishes the Packers the best of luck. All right, here's the kick by Craig Hendry. Here they come after him, and he gets it away. High, beautiful floater to Joey Galloway at the 27-yard line. Joey looking for someplace to run, falls down in front of the defender downfield for the Packers, and they weren't going to let him go anyplace, so he just kind of falls down, and it'll be taken over. That was Jervy, was it not?
Bernardo Harris
was
down there, yep.
Yeah. Knock him down at the 33, just touch him after he'd fallen down. And with 11 seconds to go, you going to put one up for grabs, or are you just going to kneel down on the ball?
I tell you, Galloway, not much for contact. You notice that? If there's anything around, he wants on the ground or out of bounds, one or the other.
You know, Woody Hayes don't coach at Ohio State anymore. You can tell that by some of their products. But they can run a lot faster than Jim Otis could.
That's for sure.
It's a good example, by the way, right there, Jim Otis. All right, it is going to be 1st and 10, 11 seconds remaining. I got 3 wide receivers. And Myers back to throw it with 11 seconds. He wants to throw it long. He's got a man down here. The Packers playing the ball in deep center field, and it is picked off, intercepted by Newsom, and down he goes. 3rd interception of the day by the Packers with 1 second to go. And Newsom ticks it off for Green Bay, and that's another pick and save pick for Mack. And for Craig Newsom, that will be his first interception and the 14th of the year for the Green Bay Packers. That's kind of an interesting throw. He just put it up there, and Newsom played that as well as you can, just kind of a center fielder waiting to make the catch.
Yeah, they had 2-1 down there, 2 defenders, 1 receiver, and a good interception.
That 14 total. When it rains, it pours. Remember last year we couldn't buy one.
No, couldn't.
And like the Seahawks this season have 1 interception, and consequently they're 1-3.
Well, this half of Green Bay Packer football brought to you by your local Jeep and Eagle, Chrysler and Plymouth dealers, and the new Dodge. They're just going to kneel down on it here with 1 second to go. That's the end of the first half. And the score in the ball game will be 17-7 at halftime in favor of the Packers. Back with our halftime programming after this on the Packer Radio Network.
A Dodge Ram pickup was built around a very
Yard line by Broussard, who really worked his blocking well. He stayed right behind those blockers, let them make a move, and he gets it out to the 36, and we have a Packer that's slow to get up. In fact, he's not getting up. He is slowly rolling over.
Lamont Holland Quest.
He's getting up very slowly. He's always in the middle of everything, isn't he? 36-yard line.
He leads them in special teams tackles. Or he's second, rather, to Jeff Thomason.
They're helping him get up, and he is kind of staggering as he comes to the side and walking wobbly as he heads for the sidelines. Now starting to get a little strength. Looks like it might be his left leg. And he'll be brought off to the sidelines, and a first down for Seattle at the 36-yard line. Rick Meyer, the quarterback. The Packers lead 17-7 in this ball game. And again, a sellout here today. They haven't had many sellouts in Seattle. In fact, the local Fox station bought the last 4,000 tickets to ensure that the game would be televised today locally. First down at the 36 for Rick Meyer, and he wants to throw it after a play-action fake, and he fires it upfield, incomplete. Tried to come back to the ball, did the receiver downfield. That was Max Strong, the fullback, out of the backfield, covered by Doug Evans. And Strong was a good 25 yards downfield.
Yeah, and Doug Evans had excellent coverage on him, and he ought to. A fullback against a cornerback is a mismatch.
So it'll be a second down and 10 yards to go. Interesting first down play, wasn't it?
Well, it was. I don't know how they got that. He must have been playing in the slot because he couldn't have got that deep that quick, I don't think.
It'll be second down. They have a wing on the left side, a slot man on the right side, and here's Meyer on the draw play to Chris Warren. Dives forward for about a yard, maybe not even that much, and then gang tackled and pulled backwards by Santana Dotson, who kind of let him go down easily, but now Ron Blum is chasing him to say don't do that. When the whistle blows, let go. I don't think he did anything out of the ordinary. He just kind of pushed him backwards a little bit, and Blum got right in his face of Santana Dotson and said don't do that anymore.
He did the Wayne Simmons to him.
3rd and 10. Well, Wayne kind of took him and bounced him a couple of times.
He did the yo-yo with him.
Yeah, he went bang, bang, and then bang, see? And Santana just said bang, and that was it. 3rd down and 10. Don't want to make any silly mistakes at this stage of the ball game on a 3rd and 10. Again, Chris Warren, the single running back, 2 to the right and 1 to the left in receivers. In motion comes Brian Blaze. He goes back to the outside, and Meyer back to throw, and here comes Reggie, and he steps up away from him. Goes running outfield, being chased from behind, and hit and dropped short of the first down at about the 44-yard line.
That was some kind of effort by Wayne Simmons. He was playing middle linebacker in the play, blitzed, actually chased him out of the pocket, and then was able to catch him downfield. Heck of an effort.
Well, the original pressure again came from Reggie White. Forced him to step up inside and run with the ball where he could not throw it. So the Packers have stopped the first try. And look, the Packers have too many men on the field. You got to get off the field, fellas. They do make it. Here is the kick. That was almost like a quick kick by Tootin.
Great
He hangs
kick.
it up high to Desmond
There's still
Howard.
a flag on it.
Howard at the 6-yard line. He loses one man. Howard looking for some running room and is going to be brought down at about the 7 or 8.
Howard made a mistake. He's not supposed to catch that ball.
Inside the 10, you let it go.
Well, let's see what the penalty is all about. It was at the line of scrimmage. It's illegal procedure on the part of Seattle. Let's take 10 seconds for stateside identification. I'll have to kick this one over. This is the Packer Radio Network.
For Stone Lake, New Auburn, and all of Wisconsin's great Northwest, this is WJMC-FM, Rice Lake, Barron.
Was not on the line of scrimmage. 5 yards, repeat 4th down.
Well, they had an illegal formation, but I think what you saw, Max, in the first series here by Seattle is to go deep in the playbook with the pass downfield to Strong, the fullback, well downfield, and then it was lining up quickly. The Packers, there was somebody on the sidelines yelling, get off the field, get off the field. They were never set for the return, and Desmond Howard should never have caught the ball, and yet they get a break. It'll have to be done over again.
That's right, and he had a tremendous punt there. He carried that ball about 60 yards in the air.
Better to be lucky than good sometimes.
Ball at the 39-yard line now on a 4th down and about 7 yards to go for Seattle. This is a good snap to Rick Tootin. They come up the middle, and it couldn't quite get there. This is an end-over-ender that Howard, he called fair catch, and catches the ball at the 23. Now, that time, he just didn't have a field of vision.
He's a little confused.
Yeah, there was nobody within 15 yards of him, and he probably could have returned at 10 yards, but he wasn't able to do so.
He could have caught that on the dead run. No telling where he would have gone.
We'll take a break. Back after this word from your local station. It's 17-7 the Packers. This is the Packer Radio Network.
The Shatek Ice Cream Emporium has lots more than just delicious.
Not return. It's a precautionary measure on the part of the Packers. Packers get the ball at the 23-yard line, which is better than the 6, but it could have been better than the 23.
I'll tell you, their returner made a couple of mistakes, one on each time.
So it is their first down out of an I formation. Now they split it up into a pro set, Bennett and William Henderson, and a play-action fake by Brett Favre. Now he runs to the left. He runs it up the middle to the 25 and slides down after a gain of about 5 yards. Brett Favre, the middle was so open, And somehow it seems to me that he gets in the middle of this run, and he says, oh, Mike said, don't do this, because you could get injured or something like that, and then he decides to cut it off or head for the sidelines. That time he cut it off after a gain of about 5 yards.
Did the smart thing.
Yeah, I think so, too. First, the smart thing would have been to throw it, wouldn't it?
Well, I think so. I think one of the changes in Brett here lately, he's just reluctant to let some of those go. You know, he used to be a real gambler. It paid off a lot of times.
Here's the quick handoff to Edgar Bennett. Oh, he made a great cut at the line of scrimmage and gets out to the 35-yard line. What he did was allow the blocker, William Henderson, to lay the block on the defender, and then he cut off that block and gets out to the 35 for first down. That's intelligent running and good blocking.
Yes, it is. And the Packers are making a living today, anyway, using a couple lead blockers. Not only William Henderson, but Aaron Taylor out there throwing his body around as well, opening the way for Edgar Bennett.
So Edgar has the first down at the 35-yard line. 17-7 the Packers. 12 minutes remaining here in the third quarter from Seattle, Washington. Single running back this time. That's Edgar Bennett. 2 wide receivers and 2 tight ends for Green Bay. Here's Brett. Play action. Rolls to the right. Looking. Wants to come back to the left side. Got a man open there, and he loses the player.
Whoa, there's a flag.
He is upfield to about the 46-yard line, but the flag came from at least 35 yards away.
It really did. So it threw it right where holding would normally be called.
You know what I thought it was? I thought it was one of those paper airplanes out of the stands. That was a throwback from the right to the left side.
Oh, it's against Seattle, Jim.
That flag had big-time hang time.
Boy, it did, didn't it? I thought it was an airplane flag. We'll listen to the referee, Ron Blum, so he'll tell us exactly what it is that went on. They have nearly a first down out to the 46-yard line. Let's listen.
Illegal contact. 25 defense. Penalty is declined.
Well, it's illegal contact on the part of Robert Blackman, 7th-year player out of Baylor. So it will be, it looks like it might be just short of the first down. No, he said it's the first down. So he gave him a first down on the play to the 46-yard line. Robert Blackman still doesn't agree with the call, but I'm telling you that the flag was at least from 35 yards away. First down at the 46. Let's see if the Packers can sustain a drive here. High formation split into a pro set where the backs stand side by side. Here's Brett, straight back in the pocket, steps up, fires it upfield, Chimera to the 45, down to the 43-yard line. That begins to look like the Packers right there. Quick hitter. Henderson blocked so hard he lost his shoe, and it's a first down to the 43 to Mark Chimera. I'd like to see Jackson get back into the flow of things.
Yeah, and that was Brett being Brett. Run back there, set, and fire, stepping into the throw and drilling the tracer right to Mark Chimera.
So it is a first down at the 43-yard line of the Seattle Seahawks.
You know, we haven't mentioned Jackson's name here in a couple of weeks.
They hadn't caught anything in 2 weeks. That's part of the problem. Edgar Bennett and Levens in the backfield. Now the draw at 11. Through a hold of the 40 down to the 39. And a quick 4 yards by Dorsey Levens on a little draw play up the middle.
Packers using a blocking scheme they're pretty good at. Frankie Winters blocking back on Aaron Taylor's man. Aaron Taylor pulling around from middle linebacker. Called a full block. The Packers do it pretty well.
Ball's at the 39. Second down and about 6 yards to go. Want to remind you that this season every Packer score is won for the Mac Fund, the Packer Radio Network, and participating sponsors have teamed up to continue to fight against childhood cancer with Scoring for Mac. From the 39, second down and 6, it's in Seattle's territory now. Here's Brett. Brett on the handoff to Bennett to the outside. Got a blocker out there to the 35, down to the 30, and inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. Perfect seal block on this corner by one of the Packer players.
Adam Timmerman getting out there and doing a good job, picking his way over the trash, getting his body in front of somebody, but a great job by Dorsey Levens cutting the defender down, allowing Edgar to gain the yards.
Ball's down to the 28-yard line. Another first down for the Packers and a good-looking drive at this moment, Max.
Pack look like they're back.
I hope you're right.
After a one-week hiatus, they're back.
Ball is at the 28-yard line. First down, Green Bay. Brett brings him to the line of scrimmage. He has 12 seconds to snap the play off. He has the throw set of Bennett this time to the right side. Back goes Brett to throw on first down. Looks up over the middle and is caught. First down at the 15-yard line. Sliding to the turf to catch it is Antonio Freeman.
Wide open, too.
Freeman with
Nobody
a
there.
slant pattern, and you can start to see the confidence level coming up.
I think Max pointed out earlier, when the Packers run the ball, when teams have to respect their run, the other guy's in trouble, big-time trouble.
Keith Jackson into the lineup. Out comes William Henderson at the 14-yard line of Seattle.
Antonio Freeman doing a great job of finding the seam in that zone and settling down.
I tell you what the run does for you. It makes pass protection so much easier. When they got to worry about run, they just don't pin their ears back and go after the quarterback.
Packers have to hurry. They get to the line of scrimmage with only 7 seconds to snap it. And they run the draw to Edgar Bennett. Edgar tries to step inside and will go down at the 11-yard line. He made a little mistake at the line of scrimmage, Larry. The hole was inside. He took one step too many to the outside. Then when he tried to cut back into the hole, it was gone.
I would agree with you 100%. There was a big gash to the left side of the center. He saw it too late, ended up going to the right. Nothing there. Not much there anyway.
Well, he gets 3 yards on the play down the 11-yard line, and Seattle just kicked the football. Somebody's going to have to reset it. He didn't do it on purpose. He just turned around, and the football was there in his way. First down, a second down, and about 6 yards to go from the 10-yard line of Seattle. Shamura in the backfield goes in motion to the far side. Here's Brett, straight back in the pocket. Stepping up, fires.
Wide open.
What a throw. Oh, man. Thrown by Brett Favre into the end zone to Keith Jackson, and the Packers have come back in full.
Dean Wells, the middle linebacker, trying to cover Jackson. Jackson gives him a big arm over and gets wide open for the touchdown.
Boy, just as you want to hear from Jackson, there he is, wide open in the end zone. Brett Favre right on the...
Well, I think even more than Jackson was that throw.
That
throw was a
unbelievable.
bullet that just went drilling into Keith Jackson for the touchdown for the Packers. And Keith cradles that ball, and for Keith Jackson now, that is touchdown number 5 catch of the season. Ball is down, and the kick is on the way, and the kick is good. It is 24-7 the Packers. Timeout. Back after this on the Packer Radio Network.
Freshness hotline, what's the problem?
You're gonna think I'm making this up?
Trust me, and I'll trust you, friend.
Well, I was at this bar when I ordered an import beer.
In a green bottle?
Yes.
Go on.
Well, I took...
All the more effective. Third touchdown pass of the day for Brett Favre, and now a total of 15 for Brett this season. And a kickoff by Craig Henry for the Packers. Brett Favre and Keith Jackson hooking up for the 5th time this season. Here is the kickoff. Henry and a high floater that Broussard has to go to the right to grab in the end zone. He comes out of there and tries to go back left to the 10-yard line and almost nailed at the 10. Still on his feet and goes down at the 20. I'll tell you what, that was close to a terrific play on the part of the Green Bay Packers.
Corey Dowden.
Yeah, Dowden came flying through and just missed him, and they'll take the ball at the 20-yard line.
I know he didn't finish the play, but the kid weighs 185 pounds soaking wet, and boy, he is fearless. He flies down there.
Well, what you like, Max, is the effort. He gave you every bit of effort he's got.
I'll tell you, he'll cause some confusion if you get down there that quick, too. He's the one that made that thing get off balance right off the bat.
Well, we have a timeout on the field, do we? I think we do. We'll take a break and be back after we pause for this. It's the Packer Radio Network.
Eat right, exercise, and you have a better chance of living a long, healthy life. If you don't, you face heart disease and an early exit. You make the call.
Lakeview Medical Center, Rice Lake, we're committed to your health.
Warren takes the first pass and runs it up the sidelines into Packer territory at the 46-yard line. It looked as if somebody had fallen down on the first play from the 20-yard line, and Warren was out there all alone.
Go ahead, Larry. I was watching cheerleader.
I don't blame you. George Kuntz fell down on the play, and a big factor in Warren being so wide open.
And suddenly they're down at the Packer 46-yard line. The Packers leading 24-7. By the way, they sold out today, 66,047, but 6,074 didn't show up.
A lot of empty seats in the nosebleed section here.
First down at the Packer 46, and here is Seattle right back after the Packers after a score. Rick Meyer waits. Meyer on the ride and the handoff, and this time it goes to Lamar Smith, and he tried to scoot through that hole and gets down to about the 42-yard line. He picks his way to the left side, then looks for a place to go, and runs it down to the 42-yard line. We got a Packer player that's down and hurting, and it's Doug Evans, and it's his right ankle, and he's going to go to the sidelines, and Ty Williams has to come in. Appears to be the right leg of Doug Evans, who went down on that run to his side of the field. And that's not good news. Second down. And about 6 yards to go at the 42-yard line of the Packers. Single running back. Again, it is Lamar Smith for Seattle. And Meyer, short drop, quick pattern over the middle. It is caught, and a first down at the 32-yard line. Very nice slant pattern. The first time he's thrown that pattern that well. And it is caught out there by Brian Blades. And a first down for Seattle inside the Packer 35-yard line at the 32.5.
Well, you'd like to keep them, not give them any life here, Jim, but all at once, Meyer kind of completed a pretty tough little pass there and got him on the move.
Simmons was on the sidelines on that play, and he comes back in and replaces Brian Williams.
Packers going with 2 linebackers, 5 defensive backs.
First down at the 32. Myers, short drop, quick pattern to the inside, threw it low. Was it caught? Wow, no catch. No catch.
He caught it.
The official says no catch. The official ruled no catch on the play quickly. And it's interesting, it was the guy behind the play, as it was intended for Pritchard, I believe, down on the right sideline. The official behind the play is the one who called it. Did he drop it or not? We'll get a better look on this play. Looks like it's on the ground, folks, and it was.
It was on the ground, no doubt.
Second and 10. 6:25 to go third quarter. 24-7 the Packers. Single running back for Seattle. Rick Myers, 6 out of 21 with 3 interceptions today. Rick on the ride and the handoff to Warren. They go through that same spot, but this time Chris Warren is pulled down from behind. There is a weakness, and they keep coming back to that. Off the left defensive side on the inside run. And Simmons knocks him down after a gain of about 6 yards to the Packer 26-yard line.
Too much yardage, but if Wayne Simmons had any help, it would have been a lot less because he just caved the blocker, Kevin Mawai, and then made the play. If he had any help on that, the Packers would have stuffed it.
Now it is a third down play, and to the right side is Pritchard. We have 2 receivers, Galloway and Blades to the left, and a wing on the left side with Warren as the running back. And the Packers come to the line of scrimmage. Here they come. And Meyer trying to get away. Runs right into the arms of a Packer player. Knocked down. They got the ball away. And Craig Newsom gets in front and reaches out and knocks it away from Pritchard. Down the right sidelines with a brilliant defensive play and stops the drive.
Meyer got chased out early, Jim. Obviously, when it's third down, you want something you can hit quick, but he had nobody around, and the Packer defense got to him.
They needed Newsom to make a big play because they blitzed 3 folks up the middle, Wayne Simmons, Butler, and Robinson. I mean, they committed a whole lot of folks to the pass rush that game.
And once he eluded those who were blitzing, that was the problem. This is going to be a 45-yard field goal by Peterson, who is 4 out of 5. 47 is his long this season. The ball down, the kick is on the way, and the kick is going to be good. He made it. So he scores to make it a 24-10 ball game. And a timeout on the field. We'll take a break back after this from your local station on the Packer Radio Network. Do the kicking off. It is a 24-10 ball game. Pretty good defensive effort. Really, in that drive, Larry, the play that set it up was the opening play down the sidelines to Chris Warren.
I got one new injury report. Jim Palm's got a severe case of eye strain looking at the Seagulls. I've never seen him so attentive.
What do they call these? Sea dolls?
The Seagulls. Seagulls.
Is that what they are?
Yes.
The Sea Dollies.
Here is the high floater that is going to be taken by Beebe at the 5-yard line. Got some blocking in front of him. Looks, comes up slowly to the 10, to the 15. Almost got tripped up. Spins away to the 20, and down he goes. A lot of effort to get back where you would have gotten if taken it into the end zone to the 20-yard line. There was for some reason or other, nothing really developed on that play at all. And Beebe, who is a speed returner, he needs to get some speed up, Max, so he can blaze past people. And nobody can out-dodge 11 guys out there on the field.
Yeah, I think that mystery reason was a lack of blocking.
Yeah.
Beebe, though, he will blow it up the middle, and that's where you're going to break it.
So the ball at the 20-yard line. First down for the Packers with 5:24 to go. They lead by 2 touchdowns, 24-10. Beebe splits off to the right. Again, Robert Brooks not playing after the first play from scrimmage. Hit and suffered a concussion. From the 20, Brett Favre is going to throw on first down. He looks, fires it up over the middle. It is caught. And it's to the 27, maybe the 28-yard line out of the backfield. It's William Henderson who catches it and then bowls forward over one defender, the linebacker for the Seattle Seahawks, and gets about 7 or 8 yards on the play. And now you can just see the rhythm is starting to come on about every play that they run out there, and they get into the position and go through with the play. No hesitation at all so far.
No, the offense, once you get a nice lead, the other team has to play catch-up, and you've got a little easier job.
Second down, 2 yards to go. The handoff goes to Bennett. Bennett to the outside. First down at the 31-yard line. Stood behind the block of William Henderson. Got to the outside. Gets only 3 yards on the play, but they only needed 2 for the first down. And he has the first down there. This game's action brought to you by your Polaris Snowmobile, ATV, and personal watercraft dealers. For outdoor fun before and after the snow, see your Polaris dealer. Pat Casey of Madison wants to say hello to his friends and family in Wisconsin. He is serving his last year in the U.S. Air Force up here at McCord Air Force Base in Washington. So thanks, Pat, for protecting us. First down at the 30-yard line, 31 really for the Packers. Pardon me. And back goes Brett to throw. A flag on the play, overshoots his intended receiver, and then Edgar Bennett is really dumped by the defender after he sees the ball go over his head. Don Wilson, I'm just going to hit you for the fun of it. But the flag may have been an illegal procedure call the way it was lined up. Would be my guess on the play. We'll let Ron Blum tell you.
Offside, 70 defense.
No.
5 yards, repeat first down.
Yeah, well, that may have been the case again, Max, of lining up offside.
Well, it's the same guy in the same place, so maybe he wants to get a little head start. That's
Sinclair, number 70, 6'4", 267. Little light at the defensive end, but he's more like a linebacker.
Leading sacker in the NFL, oddly enough.
Has eight. Got one today. Is that the only sack on Brett Favre? No, he's had two. 2 sacks today and a total of 15 on the season. So it is going to be a 1st and 5 at the 35. Here's Brett Favre back to throw. Looking. Comes up throwing again upfield. There's Shimura. Shimura is knocked down at the 49, and Brett Favre got leveled again. Brett Favre really got leveled by Winston Moss, and Brett saying, why didn't that draw a flag? Because he had got rid of the ball and hit Shimura on the play, but he will stay in there and take the punishment. And he does, but it's a 1st down for the Packers at the 48-yard line.
I'll tell you, the hit Chimera took was something else, too. You watch him on the replay here. When he catches that ball, he really gets
little high by Winston Moss.
You know, from officials, all you ask for is consistency. Think about Reggie White's hit before that got called.
Yeah, about the same thing, and I didn't like the fact that it was high.
Close.
It was high, and you don't want to get a guy hitting the helmet. Here's the 1st down called. Edgar Bennett slant play off to the left to the 40. Inside the 40 to about the 37-yard line. Big hole on the left side.
Great sustain by Aaron Taylor and John Michaels on the left side over there. Again, the key to the running game, sticking and staying with your blocks. We got a penalty.
2 flags thrown on the play, and this is from the arguing and the complaining that goes on, and here comes. I think, you know what I think happened? I think a couple of people went after Winston Moss after that last hit, because Moss is right in the middle of it. Winston Moss, and he's not real bright. He took his helmet off.
I tell you, the Packers have got all burners going again here, Jim. The running attack's working. The pass attack is working. They're moving the ball.
Well, it may cost them a penalty if they were aggressive in this. Winston Moss is really upset. Let's listen to the officials. And the ball is, well, I don't know where the ball is going to be. Let's listen to Ron Blum.
Unnecessary roughness, personal foul. Number 55 defense. 15 yards, 1st down.
Well, we were looking for the penalty on the play before. He got it the play after. This is 15 yards against Winston Moss, who's still walking around out there without his helmet on. I don't know what he did, but he is guilty of something. And I think, again, Larry, it was probably precipitated by the play before.
All of that Moss is totally out of control because he should have had 2 plays in a row or got 15 yards on him.
Yep. So it's going to be a 1st down at the 22-yard line for the Packers, who lead with 3 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter by the score of 24-10.
Moss, former Buccaneer, former Raider, if he sounds familiar.
Raider may have been the training that rubbed off on him. Brett Favre now changing the play at the line of scrimmage, and not very loud, so he can do that. Here's Brett back to pass, looks for the fade pattern, and goes downfield, and Beebe tried to one-hand it and couldn't do it. He was a half step short. If he's a half step further downfield, he's got a touchdown. He tried to grab it one-handed and kind of tip it up and then grab it on the continuation, but it was just over his head, and he couldn't do it. And Brett knows he had a touchdown and just overthrew it a bit.
Yeah, I think he did. It appeared, though, Beebe might have caught that football if he'd have stuck both hands up there. I'd like to see a replay anyway.
Beebe beating former Packer Corey Harris on that play. Remember, Corey Harris was the guy they bounced around offense, defense, didn't know where to put him. He settled in the corner and just got beat.
Yeah, I think the ball was just a little over his left shoulder.
Over his head.
All right, it's going to be 2nd down and 10 at the 22-yard line for Brett. Here's the inside handoff, looking for a place to run. Edgar Bennett gets only 2 yards, down to about the 20-yard line, and he's brought down there. Dean Foods has been providing Packer fans with quality dairy and ice cream products for over 70 years. Dean's Milk and Ice Cream. You can taste how much we care. By the way, we got a group of Brookfield firemen here in Seattle. Said they joined us in New England back in '94. Jim Mering, Roger Lauer, Vern and Charlie Ailey, Jim Frankie, and Rich Davis are all here out of Appleton, Shippen, Lannon, Richfield, and Brookfield. All right, 3rd down, 8 yards to go. Need a big play here to keep the drive going. Bennett in motion to the left side. Here's Brett straight back in the pocket. Brett looking on rhythm. Downfield. Oh, and incomplete. Just as the ball got to Antonio Freeman, his head nearly taken off by Darrell Williams, and it is an incomplete forward pass. The pass just an instant too late.
Yeah, I expected a flag there, Jim. That defender got him just a hair before that ball got there.
I thought so too.
Yeah, and he was head hunting all the way.
Is Darrell Williams the same guy that put Brooks out of the ball game?
Right. I will take a look and see. Well, pretty close. Might have been a great defensive play. Here's the try for the field goal by Jackie. And this will be a 38-yarder by Chris Jackie.
Not a call you're going to get on the road.
Here's the kick on the way, and the kick is up, through, and no good. Nope, didn't go through. He missed it. So they'll get the ball at the 20-yard line. Will Seattle? Still 24-3 and a timeout, or 24-10, beg your pardon, a timeout. Back after this on the Packer radio.
Low price.
Ball is at the 28-yard line. 2 touchdowns behind are the Seattle Seahawks, so every series is important. Chris Jackie on that last kick. Let's see how far he missed it. And he did miss it. And the ball apparently just a little bit off to the right. Boy, that's a judgment call by the officials. And it is missed. So the ball is 28, first down. Chris Long, the lone running back. 3 wide receivers. Here's Meyer, a play-action fake, and they reverse it to Joey Galloway, trying to sneak it off to the outside. Galloway is hemmed in and will be pushed out of bounds at about the 32-yard line after a gain of about 4 yards. An end around, not very well disguised and pretty well played by the Packers.
No, they think of different ways to get the ball in the hands of Galloway, who is their fastest guy, but Galloway heads for the sidelines a little faster than most people.
Well, let me check and see how many passes he's caught today. He has not caught any. And he came into the ball game for Seattle having caught 14 for 221 yards. So he gets about 15 yards a catch. It'll be second down. They gave him 5 yards on the play all the way out to the 43. Make it the 33-yard line. Man in motion is Faria. Back to pass goes Rick Myers, and here they come after him, and he gets away. Dumps it off to his back, Warren, and Warren is going to be brought down at about the line of scrimmage. They're going to give him the 33-yard line. Well, I don't know how Meyer got out of that. There were people all over him, and Meyer somehow got to the right side and just dumped it off to Warren, and Warren makes it a no-loss play. Not a gain, but a no-loss play. Third down with a minute 10 to go.
Not a gain, but a great run by Chris Warren. Broke Brian Williams' tackle, broke Craig Newsom's tackle. The guy's a special running back.
Galloway and Blade split both to the left side, Pritchard to the right. They've got 3 nice receivers on this Seattle team. And here is Rick Meyer on third down. Meyer on a draw play, gets to the outside, and it's Broussard on his feet for a first down to the 43-yard line. Steve Broussard. They were looking past, and Broussard ran it on a delay for the first down to the outside to the 43-yard line.
And again, every big play that they've made running has been to the same hole, to the same side as it was last week when Robert Brooks wrote that. They're operating right between that right guard and right tackle.
The one place you can run at Reggie White because he's going to take himself out on the upfield pass rush. Santana Dotson's got to get off his block.
First down at the 43-yard line for Seattle. They trail 24-10. Here's Meyer going to throw on first down. Pumps now, comes up over the middle, incomplete. At the 49-yard line.
My goodness. That was definitely interference. I was wondering where the flag was going to come
from. Flag comes from deep downfield, and a delayed flag thrown by the official.
I think it was more like holding than interference because the guy had a hold of the receiver.
Max, it's good to have one objective voice up here. We're both going, oh, no, lousy call.
Well, you know why you say no? Because of the close play down at the goal line on Antonio Freeman. That's what makes you say, well, maybe there wasn't anything that went on there. Maybe the timing was perfect here, too.
See, I'm just an old receiver. I think everybody gets close to you, that's interference.
Okay, well, we'll take a look on the replay and see whether it was or not. And,
he had his hands on him all the way.
Let's see, and that's Doug Evans. The good news is that Evans back into the ball game after a sprained ankle. Took him out the series before. 10 seconds left in the quarter. And a first down for Seattle at midfield. Packers going to have to tighten up. This could be a ball game in the fourth quarter. Here's Rick back to throw. Pumps it. Now wants to loft it to the sideline.
That's intercepted.
Picked off by Pryor, but it will be negated because of interference. The ball is at the 23-yard line. Let's see what the call is.
Evans jumped on the pump. Pump and go.
What would that be, a holding call?
Illegal contact, I would think, or holding one or the other. Would not be interference because I don't think the ball was in the air.
Pryor had the interception, but I don't think it's going to hold up with 1 second left in the quarter. Now we got one of the linemen, Maue, pointing fingers. It's against the Packers. And let's listen to Ron Blum.
Illegal contact, 33 defense, 5 yards. First down.
So it's a 5-yard penalty. It goes down to the 45. with a second to go. It would have been downfield a little further had it been interference.
This one was a good call.
Well, and the Packers are hurting themselves on a drive in which they need to shut off the Seattle Seahawks.
So far, Doug Evans has been their leading gainer on this drive.
But he was getting in the way of Joey Galloway. And that's too bad. That would have been the 4th interception of the day by the Packers. So with 1 second to go, they have 1 play left in the quarter to the Seahawks. Warren, the running back. And again, 2 wide receivers right. Pritchard always seems to line up by himself at one side or the other. Here's the ride and the handoff to Warren. And Warren hit at the line of scrimmage, but his body carries forward. Good grief, all the way down to about the 42-yard line. That's the end of the quarter. It is the Packers 24, Seattle 10. Back after this on the Packer Radio Network.
Lakeview Medical Center, Rice Lake, we're committed to your health.
The right is knocked down at about the 38-yard line and a gain of about 4 yards. It's 3rd down and 2 for Seattle. Well, the 4th quarter, Milwaukee Pickles, Packers crunch time. When it's crunch time at your house, remember Milwaukee Pickles are the best tasting under the sun. Milwaukee's Pickles, biggest little pickle in Wisconsin, available at your favorite grocers. All right, 3rd down at about 3. Here is Meyer on the handoff to Warren again, trying to get the first down. He didn't get it. Let's see where they're going to... Oh, wait a minute. The official kept moving forward. He started back a yard deep, and now he's got him in first down territory at the 34-yard line.
Surely they had to have blown the whistle somewhere during that
Yeah,
ball.
he just kept driving because the official first started to mark the ball back.
It is a first down. I can't
at the
believe
36. Yeah, he started to mark the ball at the 36-yard line. He was coming in from that far side, and he just kept veering forward. And apparently Chris Warren kept his feet turning for a first down at the 34-yard line.
It's obvious going into this game, Seattle thought we're going to get Warren untracked. Enough of Lamar Smith. We're going to get Warren his hands on the football.
Steve Hirano is our Bud Packer payoff contestant here in the 4th quarter. Hope you get a chance to win some money, Steve. All right, here we go. First down. Meyer on a play-action fake rolls out to the left. There's Sean Jones who hits him. But he got the ball off to Brian Blades. First down at the 23-yard line. Heck of a play by Meyer. Sean Jones coming in, hitting just as he released the ball, and Blades on a crossing pattern has the first down on the left side of the 23.
Go ahead, Max. I was going to say, easily the best play Myers has made today. That was a great pass.
That was that drag to the tight end. Christian Fourier was covered. He went to option number 2, which was Blades. He was not covered real well.
So a first down and a big drive here by Seattle could make this game very close. It's 24-10. We have 13-10 to go in the ball game. First down for Rick Meyer. Man in motion to the outside is the fullback, Strong. And he gets the ball that's batted up in the air. It was intended for Strong and batted up inside. It could have been Reggie who got a hand on it and knocked it up in the air because Strong was out here in the flat, Max, on the right, ready to go somewhere and would have made some yardage.
Reggie right there where he should be, and if he'd have got that interception, that would have been a 2 for the day.
Right through his hands. Both hands on it. Strong was out on the right flat waiting for the ball. Today's game brought to you by Budweiser, saluting America's responsible drinkers who know when to say when. All right, second down and 10.
Defensive back today.
Yeah, he's had more knockdowns than anybody, hasn't he? Here's the draw up the middle to Warren. Big hole again, tries to spin away. Gets inside the 20 down to about the 18-yard line. You're looking past, and they're effectively using the running game. And Warren now is getting closer to the 100-yard mark. It'll be third down for Seattle. The ball is at the 17-yard line. Here comes Ty Williams in. Out will come Kuntz, and out comes Williams, and Simmons comes back in for the Packers. The 2 linebacker offense or defense for the Packers.
5 defensive backs.
Third down at about 4.5 yards for Seattle. Rick Meyer with a single running back again. Here's Meyer straight back in the pocket. Quick drop pattern over the middle and picked off. Intercepted up the sidelines by Doug Evans. Evans to the 30, 35, 40. May go, and he's on his feet, and he tipped up and falls.
He can get up.
No, the trip came. He's going to be down at the 23-yard line. The trip came. He just never regained his balance. He got about 15 yards after he picked it off. And Rick Meyer has thrown a 4th interception of the day. Another pick for pick and save and a max fund of $100.
I'll tell you, that was a great-looking interception, Jim.
They're just explaining, Max, that what happened was he was pushed by the defender. The stumble kept for about 15 yards. If he could have regained his balance, he had the touchdown. And for Doug Evans, that becomes interception number 2 this season and the 4th today.
Well, you just wonder who Meyer was throwing the ball at there. There was just
nobody there.
Nobody there.
We've had very similar interceptions for big yardage this year. Leroy Butler steps in front of a receiver, takes it almost all the way, or did take it all the way. George Kuntz did it against Minnesota, and they all look very much alike.
Now first down at the 28, and that could really change this ballgame around if the Packers can score either a field goal or a touchdown here. First down at the 28-yard line of Seattle. Here's Brett Favre, the quarterback, changing the play at the line of scrimmage. A lot of adjustments by both sides. Brett waiting for the snap, got 6 seconds to do it. Goes back, short drop, looking, comes up over the middle, incomplete. Threw it low intentionally, I believe. Well, maybe not. He's mad at himself. I think he threw it thinking there was going to be interference there, and then he saw BB break open after he'd released the ball. It's Freeman, rather, after he'd released the ball.
I think the reason he changed, I thought he saw he was going to get man-to-man, so that little quick slant is the perfect play for that for man-to-man defense, and it just didn't develop that way.
Brett is 15 out of 29 now, 141 yards, but 3 touchdowns. Second down and 10 at the 28-yard line for the Packers. Here's Favre waiting. Favre on the handoff to Bennett, trying to get outside, flags on the play, and down he goes at about the 24-yard line after a gain of about 4 yards. The flags thrown at the line of scrimmage, but they were thrown after the play started. So sometimes that means it's offsides against the opposition. Sometimes it's against the offensive team for illegal procedure. And the referee will tell us. And they would take the penalty, of course. It was 5 yards. Offsides against Seattle. That's about the 3rd offsides today by Seattle.
Well, lining up in the neutral zone, Jim, means they are actually lining up. They're not even jumping out there. They're just lining up all sides.
You're absolutely right. It just seems that, and when you do that 3 times in a game, somebody's not making a very good adjustment.
And it may be the same guy. Check his eyes.
So it's second down and 5 at the 23-yard line. Oh, he said, oh, you mean this line. I'm sorry. Second down, 5 yards to go. Henderson in the backfield with Edgar Bennett. Brett Favre sees the defense move around. Brett's short drop, back in the pocket, now going to the corner. And there's Freeman. Caught it! Did he get in? No, he's right at the corner, not quite in. What an adjustment by Freeman to the ball. And he just barely missed getting in. Brett Favre thought he had the touchdown, and Freeman is ruled out of bounds about inches from the goal line.
Touchdown or no, that was one fantastic catch.
I tell you, one fantastic pass, too. He put it exactly on that corner where nobody could get it but Freeman, and there Freeman was.
So it is first and goal, just inches away. Boy, you talk about a great pass, Max. That ball was just out there, and he put his hands out, and the ball nestled into the hands. Down and out to the left corner. So it is a first and goal, inches away. Brett Favre has to take a timeout, or somebody took a timeout.
Well, they were down to 1 on the play clock.
Well, Seattle took the timeout. They were disorganized. We'll take a break. Back after this on the Packer Radio Network.
Hey, you want to see something to power? Come on, follow me. This is a Carter's cast.
And what's really interesting about the ball game, of course, is the fact that Seattle was driving. You're talking about a 14-point turnaround if the Packers can get the ball into the end zone. So it is a first down play. Running backs, Dorsey Levens is in there with William Henderson now. So you got the power backs in. On the first down play,
Packers moved.
Mark Chimura moved on the tight end position to the left side, and that'll be 5 yards back to the 6. Well, that's unfortunate, isn't it?
That changes the play.
It does. So they'll bring it back out to the 6-yard line. Boy, I wish I could get all of these notes in that people have sent up. Try as we can. Hello to Mom Shirley Boley in Rhinelanders. They say this group, Todd and Jenny, came a long way just to see the ball game. All right. 11-17 remaining in the ball game. The Packers trying to put some pressure on Seattle, and they've done that all day long. All right, Beebe to the right, Freeman off to the left. Now that may be a passing down, but it's still first and goal at the 6-yard line for Green Bay. Right ready to put the ball in play.
Packers just have their base personnel in the game now.
2 running backs side by side in the backfield. Here is Brett Favre. Favre on the handoff, gives it off to Edgar Bennett. Tried to squeeze, and he gets squeezed at about the 5-yard line for no gain. Maybe a yard. Winston Moss is in there to help out on the tackle.
One of those plays where the blocking, everybody was adequate, but nobody was great to really punch a hole in it.
Well, you know what's also important about this? Any kind of scoring here is leading by 2 touchdowns. So you probably be a little conservative, but this is generally the rollout pattern right here.
Well, normally they would do that, Jim, but I think that's more in a run-pass situation. This is a 100% pass situation, I think.
All right, here's Brett Favre out of the I formation this time. Brett waiting, and Brett stumbling. Does get the ball off, and Edgar Bennett's fortunate to get the ball and get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe to the 4. Brett stuffed his toe on the turf. And they get back to the 4-yard line, maybe, well, just short of the 4, so make it 3rd down and goal for the Packers.
I was a few percentage points off on that call there, but go ahead, Larry.
What can happen sometimes on that is the center actually is trying to get his block will step on the quarterback's foot, and that's what happens a lot of times when the quarterback stumbles on the exchange.
Now it is 3rd down for the Packers. 24-10, 10:06 left in the ballgame. See what you can get done here. Now they'll send Keith Jackson's foot out wide left. In motion goes Levens on this passing down. Here's Brett Favre back in the pocket. Brett's going to run the ball. Pass, touchdown. He just took the ball and underhanded it to Antonio Freeman in the end zone for the touchdown. What a play by Brett Favre.
That is a great play, Jim, because he could not have run it in. He would not have made it to the end zone had he ran it. He just flipped it underhanded over there. Great pass, great catch.
MVP play by an MVP.
Well, I was going to say, that's the Brett Favre of old right there. And a little daring, a little dashing, everything going well for him. So the touchdown. Favre's 4th TD pass of the day.
He's got the overhand, the sidearm, and the underhand. I mean, it's amazing.
That's the 2nd TD pass of the day for Freeman. Here is the kick, and it's good. I think it's important that Freeman gets that touchdown. He almost scored it on the long pass. The try for extra point is good. 31-10, the Packers. Back after this from your local station on the Packer Radio Network.
If trucking is your business, you should know that Meyer
Drive. That was a beauty to start the second half. It went 77 yards in 9 plays. So you again have all aspects of the team working for the Packers today.
Tell you what, John Michaels has held up very well. We haven't had a mention of his guy getting a sack or anything like that. Held up very well today.
Here's Hendrick with the kickoff. The Packers try to go back into a tie for first place in the division. It goes to the 3-yard line. Broussard out to the 15, out to the 20, and then stumbles and brought down at about the 23. Broussard said, nobody touched me. Well, I'm afraid so that they did, Steve. So they bring him down at the 33-yard line. Today's game brought to you by Simplicity. Simplicity dealers are the only place you can buy Simplicity's top-performing lawn and garden equipment. And where you can register.
Screen doors offer money-saving weather protection and security features. They're perfect for any entryway and guaranteed for as long as you own your home. Dress your home for the weather ahead and save with Forever Storm and Screen Doors from Mills Fleet Farm, your do-it-yourself headquarters.
Why take long road trips? We've got more doctors, more services. When you need us, we're right here close to home.
Lakeview Medical Center, Rice Lake, we're committed to your health.
At the 44-yard line and a gain of about 20 yards on the play. Meyer back to throw again. Meyer looking, fires it off to the right side. It is caught again by Fourier. Fourier, they say, and it is down at the 49-yard line and a gain of about 5 yards.
She is a no-huddle from here in for the Seahawks.
Well, you know what? Rick Meyer seems to get him in position, then he can't finish it off. That's been his big problem all day long. He's back to throw again. Here's some pressure now. He comes to the outside, and incomplete. I think the official started to rule that complete, and he got some help from an official further downfield who said no, he didn't have his feet in bounds over on the sidelines. And Joey Galloway still hasn't caught one, and again he went out of bounds pretty quickly. Maybe too quickly before he caught the ball. So now they have a huddle with 8:52 left. 31-10. And the Central Division will tighten up. Pritchard, it's 3rd down and 5. Beg your pardon. 3rd down and 5. Pritchard to the left, 2 wide receivers to the right, and a wing on the left side. And a wing in motion is McKnight, and he goes back to the outside. Back to pass is Meyer. Hit as he gets the cocking position with his arm, and Reggie took him down, and Rick really took a blow that time from Reggie White.
Reggie White just storming past Howard Ballard with a big inside move.
Rick Meyer and Reggie may have done what Dennis Erickson wouldn't, and that would be replace the quarterback.
Well, he did. Did he lay one on him? Yeah, you can see how hard he hit that ground. It's a wonder he didn't get a concussion.
So it is a kicking down, and here comes Rick Tootin. Desmond Howard hadn't returned one in a while. He's back to return this one. The ball will be snapped from the 49. And Tootin with a little high floater that Desmond Howard's going to call a fair catch at the 16-yard line and does so. At the 16, the first down. And the Packers with the lead of 8:41 remaining in the ball game. And let's see. We're going to take a timeout or not. 8:41 remaining in the game. Mike Holmgren and his team with a solid 31-10 lead. And Max, I feel a lot better here in the second half about the way the Packers have operated offensively.
They looked exactly like they looked all season, with the exception of last week, Jim. Moving that football, taking advantage of all these turnovers. You know, they've had a ton of turnovers here today, and they've taken advantage of most of them.
Be sure to get a fresh perspective on the Packers. Follow Journal Sentinel sports writers Bob McGinn and Tom Silverstein. Ball at the 16-yard line, first down for the Packers. You'd expect they'd kind of try to run as much clock as they can here as they put the ball in play. Split the two running backs behind the quarterback, who is Brett Favre. Hands it off to the right side and searching for a hole. Edgar Bennett out to about 17, 18-yard line.
That time they pulled Aaron Taylor, and he had to give ground to get around the garbage, and that made Edgar give ground to get around Aaron Taylor, and it didn't look too good.
Well, he picked up 3 plays. There's just too much garbage. What we got to do is clean up the garbage. When is garbage pickup?
Well, 4 yards is kind of the barometer. 4 yards is a nice-looking run. 3 yards, not quite there.
Excuse me, don't speak quite so loud or you're going to wake Max. Going to be second down at 7.
I got to quit coming into town tonight early.
I know. You need to come in the day of the game. Second down. Single running back, 3 wide receivers for Brett Favre on second down and 7. Here's Brett with the longest count, and then a draw play goes up the middle, but it didn't fool anybody. Only about a yard on the play. Winston Moss is in on the tackle.
That time they were doing a little short trap with Aaron Taylor. You're supposed to block Sam Adams and just kind of didn't see him.
Well, yeah, but if they know you're going to do that, if they know it's going to happen.
He just missed him.
Oh, okay. Here is Keith Jackson back into the ballgame. Jackson today has caught one pass, I think, hasn't he, Jim?
For a TD.
Yeah, it's for a TD. So that's what I was going to say. He made the most out of that one opportunity.
As a blocker, there's a rule. Never pass up one unfriendly for another, you know?
3rd and 7. The Packers need to get a hit here in order to keep the ball and not have to give it right back. Freeman is in motion to the right. Here's Brett Favre, and they go with a trap play up the middle and driving to about the 25, but it appears to be short of the first down is the trap man, and that's Dorsey Levens.
They'll have to punt it away.
Well, he used up, by the time they kick it, a couple of minutes on the clock, and that's important as well. It's down to 6:58, 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Packer Radio Network.
For Prairie Farm, Exland, and all of Wisconsin's great Northwest, this is WJMC-FM, Rice Lake, Cumberland.
Here is Craig Hentrick back to do the kicking for the Packers. Gets a little high snap, but he handles it very easily and drills one.
Run back.
Galloway back at about the 24 to the right, trying to get to the outside, and goes up the sidelines and steps out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. Galloway. It was Ronnie Harris instead of Galloway back that time. Ronnie Harris made the return. We'll get a timeout. Take a break. 31-10, the Packers. Back after this word from your local store near you. Well, they wanted a quarterback change, and the Packers may have helped them out by doing that. Rick Meyer has now left the ballgame. John Freeze at 6'4", 219 pounds in his 7th year from Idaho comes on. He has played this season. He's 11 out of 19, 137 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, 1 sack, and he's run the ball a couple of times for a gain of 3 yards. So he's got a first down at his own 41, treading 31-10. Single running back for John Freeze, and he goes straight back in the pocket. Looks, sets up, fires long up the sidelines. Well thrown, first down at the 44-yard line. Joey Galloway with his first catch of the day, and a perfectly down-and-out pattern thrown by John Freeze.
So you can see the difference right off the bat in how you throw a turnout. You throw it where somebody can catch it in bounds.
Tyrone Williams on the covers that time.
39-17, by the way, the score is San Francisco has bounced back after its loss as the Packers have bounced back. So it's a first down, the ball resting at the 44-yard line in Packer territory for John Freeze. 6:09 remaining in the ball game, and the Packers well out in front. Here's the draw play to Warren. Sidesteps the man at the line of scrimmage, still on his feet, bursts through a hole and drives all the way to the 30-yard line. Nice call by Dennis Erickson and his staff. A gain of 14 yards and a first down at the Packer 30-yard line, maybe the 29.
The outcome of the game no longer in doubt, obviously, but the Packers have done a poor job of playing the draw all day. I mean, just getting hung up on blocks, and can't have that.
First down and 10 at the 29-yard line for John Freeze. Freeze goes straight back in the pocket, looks, fires the ball upfield, and it's batted down right at the line of scrimmage. I don't know whether somebody knocked it down, Darius Holland, or whether he just hit Holland with the ball. Maybe Dotson got a hand on it. but it didn't clear the line of scrimmage, and a guy who's 6'4" shouldn't have that problem, should he? Let's see. He goes back, and we'll see if we can see. No, somebody did jump. That was a good play. That's Dotson who got up there to knock it down.
You know what, though? I don't care how tall you are as a quarterback. You still got to throw in between the folks. They're just too big.
Yep. They are big these times, aren't they? Second down and 10 at the 29 for John Freeze. Galloway is split to the left side in a slot position. Pritchard to the right, and Blades to the left as well. Blades comes in motion to the near side. Here's Freeze straight back in the pocket. They're coming after him. He comes up over the field, and it is incomplete. It was intended down around the 24-yard line. He had time to get rid of it, and it is dropped through the arms of Brian Blades. I don't know whether he could have caught it anyway or not. The danger was that one deflecting Max downfield and somebody picking off the deflection.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether he was throwing it to Blades or the other guy who was deeper, because it was not a very good pass by Mr. Freeze.
Third down and 10. Out of the lineup comes Darius Holland, and Gilbert Brown is in there along with Jones, Dotson, and Reggie White. One long drive for the day for Seattle in this 31-10 game. Here's John Freeze waiting. Freeze goes straight back in the pocket, and they push back at him. He fires it over the middle, and it is broken up. Almost caught by Fourier, and the ball batted up in the air. That's a great play by Leroy Butler, who stayed with the play and wouldn't let him catch the ball after it was batted up in the air. Nice play, Leroy.
Yeah, and a great pass by Freeze there, Jim. This is the kind of pass that you just got to catch if you're going to beat people.
Tell you what, Leroy Butler is quite the athlete. I mean, he's done some acrobatic things this year.
So it's going to be fourth down, and they're going to go for it, as they should, with 5:25 to go in the game. Galloway and Blades go left. Pritchard goes to the right. We've got a tight end up on the left side in Fourier. And Warren, the running back. And here's Freeze back to throw it, and here comes Reggie. All right, Blaze passing, and Freeze caught from behind by Sean Jones and pulled down as he thought he had a first down in front of him, and Sean reached out those long arms of him, caught him around the leg, tripped him up at the 28, and the ball will change possession and come over to the Green Bay Packers. That's a nice play by Sean Jones right there. And a good defensive stance by the Packers, and Sean just walks off like it's all in a day's work.
Well, to Sean it is. I'll tell you, he's having a heck of a year. He had a great year last year. He's whatever you want him to do, he's there to do it.
Well, this game today brought to you by DirecTV. For the most NFL action available anywhere, it's got to be DirecTV, satellite TV at its best. 5:17 remaining. And the Packers with a good defensive stance after Freeze moved them on one possession. First and 10 out of an I formation. Wide receivers left and right. And again, they just want to keep the ball on the ground. Edgar Bennett finds a hole off the right and dives upfield for about 5 yards. Just flowing with the ball to the right side, then finds the opening and then shoots it upfield.
You know, I don't think the Edgar Bennett of last year gets outside on that, but this year he is definitely a step quicker.
Yep.
Boy, that is obvious, too. He is, as Larry said, he's much quicker and he gets in that hole faster.
Well, he's you know, and you just got to keep him well. As long as he's that well, he'll be all right. Jim, how much is his total yardage today on rushing?
6 yards to go.
Edgar Bennett has 96 yards rushing so far today.
Well, give it to him again. Let's get
100. All right, an I formation. And here's Brett, and the handoff goes to Edgar Bennett, and he's
got 99.
Yeah, he got 3, didn't he? Out to about the 35-yard line. Clock running at 4:29 remaining in the ball game. Midwest Express Airlines wants to take this opportunity to salute the Travel Gallery, their partner in travel. Midwest Express Airlines, the best care in the air, and the official airline of the Green Bay Packers radio network. Next Sunday, the Packers will be in Chicago, and they'll take on the Chicago Bears. Meanwhile, Miami has to go all the way back to, Seattle has to go all the way back to Miami. Second trip in 3 weeks, all the way across the country. Third down and about 3 yards for Brett Favre, maybe changing the play at the line of scrimmage. And he sends Beebe out wide left, and now he's going to have to take a timeout. He's going to stop the clock right there. First timeout, and it'll be a short timeout. We'll stay right here to tell you that today's game is brought to you by Mills Fleet Farm and DeWalt. DeWalt Tools, high-performance industrial tools and accessories for all your do-it-yourself projects. I would think, you know, guys, with what's happened today, with Minnesota losing, Detroit and the Bears winning, that those two teams, Detroit and the Bears, feel like they jumped right back into the thick of things.
Oh, it's too early to be out of it. In the NFC Central, his history tells us it's going to go down to the wire. Nobody's got it except Tampa Bay.
Kevin and Tori say hello to the folks in Watoma and Manitowoc, Wisconsin. They live out here. Paula says, hi from Tori and Kevin. Paula Martin, who works with the Packers, sent us that note. Let's see, what else? Did you go down to the Pike Street Market yesterday?
I went over to that steakhouse.
Oh, yeah.
Ruth's Chris.
Yes. This is from Jim Schmidt and Jackie Howard on some nice stationery. They want to be remembered. Doug Myron. We wish him a fast recovery from a recent car accident up in Marquette, Michigan in the hospital. All right, here's Brett Favre back to throw on third down. Fires it upfield. Perfect throw.
Ooh.
Down the sidelines to the 50. The 45 on a spin move away from the defenders. Antonio Freeman has picked up some of the slack. What a nice throw again by Brett Favre. A perfect throw to the sidelines. Freeman made a spin move away from the defender and moves down the field to the 37-yard line. Nice play.
Yeah, this team is so deep sometimes. I mean, Robert Brooks gets hurt. Oh, my God, what are we going to do? Well, Antonio Freeman's going to step up and make 6 catches, score a couple touchdowns.
I think Antonio has shown what we thought he would do last year coming into this year. He's making big plays and a lot of them.
Let's find out the number of catches by Freeman, who has 2 touchdowns today. He has caught 6 for 95 yards. And those 2 touchdowns, high formation. Here's Brett on the handoff to the tailback, driving to about the 35-yard line for a couple of yards for Edgar Bennett, which should put him over the 100. Now we got some pushing and shoving going on again with 3:36 remaining and the clock running. And the whistles blow, but nobody throws a flag. David Struders of Olympia, Washington, wants to be remembered. God, I got so many of these. Here's one for you. You can read that one.
It's a check.
Oh, good. Hi from Dennis and Brian Corrigan to Marion Racine and Kelly in Green Bay. We got such a littered floor here. They won't ever invite us back to this play. Second down, 9 yards to go for the first down.
It's okay. I'm a little concerned about the roof.
Yeah, well, we're about to get out of here. No earthquake so far. Wish you hadn't made me bring that up. Here's the pitch over to the left side. Henderson through a hole down to about the 32-yard line. And William Henderson off to the left side. What do we got? Oh, somebody up there yelling to you, Max. Some guy falling over the rooftop wants to yell to Max and Larry. To the Flags, Mom, Dad, Jenny, Amy, Kate, and Matt from Christine Flag. All right, it's third down and about 5 from the 32. 31-10. The Packers have an easy lead here, and they're just trying to run out the clock as best they can and finish this game off.
Let's get Edgar's 100.
Well, is he there yet? 95. Okay. Well, he had 96 and then went to 99. Did he go backwards? I lost track here somewhere. All right, we're waiting. Here's Brett Favre back to throw on third down, trying to keep the ball alive. Goes over the middle. Great catch by Antonio Freeman on a ball that was behind him, and a first down at the 20-yard line. He jumped for the ball. I know you don't like the jumping, and the ball was a little behind him, but the good hands brought the ball in.
Well, he just took it away from that defender who also had a hand on it. That's as good as you can catch him right there. Take it away from him.
First down at the 20. Gives us some more time, but we get the 2-minute warning first. We'll take a break and be back after this on the Packer Radio Network.
Freshness hotline, what's the problem?
Yeah, I want to report a conspiracy.
Go ahead.
Not on the phone. It's probably tapped.
It's safe, I promise.
Yeah, well, my beer is covering something up.
Eden trying to run out the clock. In motion goes Edgar Bennett to the right. The pitch goes back to William Henderson, looking to turn it upfield and gets a yard or two to about the 18-yard line.
Adam Timmerman out there leading him on the play. Adam, he ain't never going outside, big guy. Plan it to go inside.
So it'll be second down for the Packers. Well, again, you'd like to get Edgar over the 100. Edgar 22 for 95 unofficially. Warren is 18 for 103 and a touchdown. All right, second down. Minute and a half left in the ball game. Brett taking all the time that he can. No reason to do otherwise, to tell you the truth. Packers will have their 4th win in 5 games and be in the 30s in those 4 wins in scoring. Here's Brett Favre, and a handoff goes to Edgar Bennett, trying to get the corner. Come on, Edgar. Oh, caught from behind and brought down after a gain of a yard or two at about the 16-yard line. Minute 7 remaining in the ball game. Our ball game today brought to you by Mick Golden, the smooth golden one that goes down easy. Michelob Golden Draft, smooth over everything.
I see former Packer Matt LeBounty out there playing defensive end for the Seahawks. Talked to him before the game. He says, hey, it's a great area, great city, everything's swell.
I wish I was back in Green Bay.
Is better.
Yeah, right. I'm sure that was the case. 44 seconds remaining on a third down play for the Packers, who can just run the clock out now. Here's Brett Favre in motion, goes Desmond Howard to the right. Brett on the ride. Quick pattern goes over to the left. That one goes to Desmond Howard, and Howard across the 15 down to about the 13-yard line. Interesting call with 40 seconds left in the game, wasn't it? Quick pattern on the right, trying to get Desmond Howard into the scoring column. But it's 4th down, and
maybe it wasn't so interesting.
Packers are going to let the clock run out. They will have won the game 31-10, and they have gone now to a record of 4 wins and a single loss. We'll take a quick 30-second break. Back after this, 30 seconds from your local station on the Packer Radio Network.
You deserve quality and value. MSI Insurance delivers. When it comes to quality insurance protection for your auto, home, and life, MSI offers the options and flexibility you deserve. And when it comes to value, the folks at MSI work hard to ensure you'll never pay for more than you need. And be sure to...
And he's on hand to watch Brett Favre. First play from scrimmage for Green Bay. Robert Brooks is leveled by Darrell Williams. Brooks left with a concussion, would not return. First quarter, 7-0 Packers. Rick Meyer under heavy pressure and throws the interception to Reggie White. Reggie not happy with just doing that. Looking like Marion Motley. 46 yards, he takes it. Chris Warren strips it, knocks it out of bounds. For the Packers, get it back, get a field goal. They lead 10-0. But wait, there's more. Favre looking for Winston Moss, or trying to at least avoid him. Finds Dorsey 11, 7-0 Pack. And then it's Favre again. Antonio Freeman. Little shuttle toss, Keith. 4-yard score. Packers win it 31-10.
Like a girl.
He didn't throw like a girl. It was a shuttle toss. Favre's 4 TD tosses were 1 short of his career best. He has 6.
One of my favorite Reggie White story. We're out in preseason practice here, right outside the Hudson Center, and John Yurkovic, who's a good friend, does radio down in Chicago, was a D lineman for us. His brother was a lineman at Notre Dame, and we had picked him up, and this was his rookie season. So he's trying to make the team. His name was Mirko Yurkovic. And he's playing.
I'm sure
right.
you make fun of him.
Well, after this we did, but he's blocking against Reggie in practice. Well, you know, Reggie's not going. None of the guys really gave it their best effort in practice. I mean, you didn't want Reggie to give his best effort. It would disrupt practice too much. So he's he's never going to hit the quarterback, and he kind of rushes in, and Mirko grabs him and kind of pulls him down. And Reggie said, "Hey, Mirko, quit the holding." Mirko says, "Hey, F you, Reggie." Mirko's a Chicago kid, you know, kind of brash. You know, Reggie ain't nothing. Hey, F you, Reggie. Okay. So I'm standing back in the back. I'm like, this is not going to be good. Reggie digs in, gets it, you know, and it said hut. And he clubbed Mirko, and it was a domino effect, and all 5 guys just fell down. I mean, it was horrible. And Reggie says, "Now God loves you, Mirko, but don't ever hold me again." And he never held him again.